And with that, my friends, we return to the likes of the Auroraverse once more. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream today. My name is Sensei Suplex, and today we have the likes of Project Aurora, Soulbound, 7 Souls. Hope you guys are ready for an awesome and epic stream as we have this or the second session of this little chapter and more. As we're getting or basically ready to head further into the tournament. As last where we left off, essentially the gang was chilling with Elwyn, one of the gods of Aurora, and they're eventually able to transport themselves and travel to, well, this newfound land. Now, before we get started, a couple of announcements. So, number one, if you didn't see, I think at this point we're waiting on like two more people to respond. But after that, we should have all 90 players for the West Marches settled. So with that, those 3 continents are going to basically be closed off. And obviously, like as people drop off, because that's just the nature of D&D. Then we'll have people from like the application, like the Continent 4 and 5 application, they're going to fill into their spots as well. After that, in about a month or so, we're still trying to, we actually did delay it. We were going to open up continents 4 and 5 earlier, but I actually decided to hold back on that because I wanted to make sure continent 1, 2, and 3 were good to go before we started expanding to 4 and 5. So if you're wondering where that sort of went, that's basically what happened. Last thing, Soulbound related. If you didn't see the first session of this little chapter, be sure to go back. Maybe after the stream or whatever at some point. You can go find it over on YouTube and check out that session over there. Last but not least, be sure to use your channel points. Because you guys can affect the sessions in real time by giving out inspiration, health potions, changing the weather, creating gods, you name it, we got it. All right, y'all. I'm going to be focusing on the game. So, hey, if I'm not necessarily responding to chat or if people are messaging me on Discord, hey, it's not me, anything personal. I'm just focused on the actual game from here on out. So thank you again. Thank you for any raids. Thank you for any follows, bits, all that cool stuff. And I will see you guys on the other side. Oh, and also be sure to use your Twitch Prime sub if you have it for free. As basically you can get an ad-free viewing experience. And if you don't want to necessarily use that, go over to the YouTube side of things and you can get an ad-free viewing experience over there. All right, y'all, let's do this. Yo. Whoa, what are you talking about? Whoa. Oh, man. Goodness gracious. We need to make that like an actual magic item. We need like Atlas or something to make that a magic item that just general shopkeepers sell. Like Graz's bag of never-ending bullshit. Like something like that. Anything, please. Oh man. Oh wait, they can't hear you. Hold on. Chat is acting up. Thank you, man. You know, one thing that I like about like the new age of Aurora, or whatever you want to call it, is that chat actually like tells me when shit ain't working compared to like how it was before, like back in the day. Also, say something real quick. See if they can hear you.
Hello, can you guys?
That's how it was last night. I was completely dependent on Sammy to tell me that everybody was screwed up.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got your back, bro. Gotta make sure these streams are a success.
And we love you for it. No, like back in the day, like literally, I think all of like the original Pantheon divided. Like I tried to stream them and everything, and like all of the VODs are muted. Like I just didn't know. I didn't know there was no sound because there's like 2 people watching at most, and one of them was probably me. So yeah. Oh man, there we go. But chat, let me know if you guys can hear him, and if you can, then cool. All right, y'all. Everybody good to go? Anybody have any questions before we get started?
We were trying to work on what Ant's AC is actually supposed to be right now.
Is it acting up?
No. It's because of what's going to happen. He's got stuff currently in his inventory that he wouldn't have.
Oh, right. Okay.
So
I think it's not even equipped yet, so unless you just unequipped it or whatever, which makes sense.
I don't know.
It was equipped. I unequipped it and put the old shit on, and it's at 15 without the shield.
Fair enough. All right, y'all. If we're good to go, then let us get started. Playing the song and all that stuff. If you want to link with me in about 3 seconds. So wait, where's it? All right. So in 3, 2, 1. Everyone, if you could all gather around the table, and let me tell you all a Voden fable. To gather around for the tale of these band of champions. For this, my friends, is the tale of the corruption within, and that of an everlasting frost. For this is the infamous tale of the Frost Maiden and the 7 souls. Our heroes left off on our tale as they were outside the goddess Elowen's house. Here they'd look to improve upon their skills by improving upon any knowledge by any means necessary prior to this tournament of Bayani. Things would begin with Yahato, the Oculi warlock, learning the truth of his past and lineage as he learned how deep the roots had gone between the war of heaven and hell. However, after learning the truth, he'd still enjoy time with his mother after years of lost contact and separation due to amnesia. And eventually, all of the 7 souls, over a well-cooked meal, the heroes would all try to converse with their sages and learn of their intent. And as they did, Anthrax, our tiefling bard, would learn of a potential cruel fate for Voden. However, this individual had much more hope and confidence in his soulbound compared to the sages. This would be the end of cycles, yes, but the end would be in victory, not defeat. Meanwhile, Ulf, the Oculi Paladin, would bring along old friends in the Axles and eventually joining would be Aegon, a Goliath warrior from the past of the Rime of the Frost Maiden. And as the crew eventually made sure that their plans were known amongst one another towards the tournament, people were set to their positions, and with that, the heroes were ready for war. Saying their goodbyes, as now their journey adventure begins, but this time, not in the Azure Taiga, Jaded Dragon Valley instead. That, my friends, we see exactly what it has in store for each and every one of them as they have finally arrived towards the tournament. A tournament that will change them for good. This time, the session 2 of Soulbound, the 7 souls. For that, my friends, we pick back up a little bit where we left off. Well, a little bit beforehand, as you all begin to step foot into the likes of this tournament on this island after being transported by Elowen through this strange portal and more. Eventually, as you look over towards one another, you see as each and every one of you has this sort of determined outlook, this determined sort of expression on your face. It is business and nothing more. There was time for fun, but not here. Looking over at each and every one of your allies and individuals, you see as eventually, that you kind of even notice as though they sort of stand in that sort of stronger stance, looking at their armor, their equipment, a lot of it has sort of changed. One particular individual begins to focus on this is you, Ulf. As you look over towards once Bard or Anthrax, but now begin to reflect on exactly how they came to be and stand where they are now. With that, we take a quick glimpse into the past before we return back towards the tournament, when these 2 individuals were training about trying to prepare themselves for what to come. We'll head over towards this area. The map should change in about 2 seconds. Yep, and your tokens should be back to how they were. But as we look over, we find you 2, and let me unpause the scene as well. And if anybody else is here, Ulf, you can, Ulf and Anth, you guys can let me know, but I assumed it's only you 2 here, correct?
Probably. I think everybody was kind of doing their own thing during this, and this is... Right. Hell, Graz was running around the 10 towns. I think, I don't remember.
No. With that, as you sort of look over, I'll let you guys more so take the lead onto this on what you imagine would be happening, but you do feel this sort of biting cold around you as you guys traveled a little bit further out to get in an area where it would be a little bit or secure enough, but not too far away where you'd be in danger. So, all for Anth. It's up to you on who you'd like to start. What you guys would be or imagine yourselves sort of doing to prepare for this endeavor.
So I think by the time we've reached here, Anth probably, or Elf would have told Anth by now why he wanted Anth to come out. You know, talking about defense and talking about a couple other things, and more specifically that Ulf doesn't really know how to lie yet, or tell a half-truth without actually giving away a full story. So, you know, who better to do that than a, you know, a businessman?
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? As you look over, you sort of see as you drag Anth. Go ahead, Rick.
I have a small problem with Foundry where I instead of the map, I just have a full screen picture of Ulf's art. And I can't get it away.
If you like move your mouse, if you like zoom out, and move your mouse around, eventually it'll like reset. It's just yeah. Here, let me see if I can move you or something. A little bit, or maybe. Also, can everybody else see? That's a good question as well.
Yeah, I can see.
I mean, I can see.
All right, cool.
Yep.
Cool. All right, let's try that. How about now, buddy?
No, it's still.
I loaded in super fast. You may try to refresh.
Yeah, just refresh. But in the meantime, you can just look at my screen or whatever. It's nothing too important on the map, right?
Okay, now it reset. Yeah.
Yeah, I doubt we'll be moving around or doing much, to be honest with you. Stand your ground.
Okay.
As currently, I don't know what you got your regular stuff equipped, right? No shield yet.
Yep.
All right. During battles, it's important that you don't get hit. However, as he kind of looks around, he's a question for you, Sensei. Can I if I pick up a rock
Sure.
and I literally just chuck it right at Anth, right? Like as hard as I can, being within 10 feet. Can I just use the unarmed strike for that, or what do you want me to actually roll for that?
No, that's fine. Unarmed strike.
So he's gonna pick it up. You know, every now and then we won't be able to get in between you and something else, but you must be able to dodge. It's not gonna let me do it, so we're gonna move just a little bit further, and we're gonna do it anyhow. Ha-ya!
With a 16, just wham! You chuck the rock over towards him, and I believe that beats your AC, correct, Dan?
Yep.
Yeah, it just beats. So wham! Immediately, I don't know where you throw it, like if it's at his face or not, but you're gonna take 4 points of bludgeoning damage as it racks your entire body with pain, and more so, just adrenaline immediately.
With
he's not super focused yet, just standing there suddenly. If I can get hit, my God, what the fuck are you doing?
you must always be ready. You must always be prepared. And it's perfect that it was a 16, because if he had a shield equipped, it wouldn't have actually hit him. So it's freaking perfect. Like, I can't even tell you how perfect that is. As he kind of steps back. Just for flavor's sake, he's gonna, and I'm glad Graz isn't here. He's gonna walk over to one of these trees, and he's gonna start using the obsidian of his shield like a saw, and he's gonna start sawing out this tree, like as he's talking. He's gonna start cutting down this tree.
You got it. As you sort of do so, I'm not going to make you roll for it. Eventually, as you take your the more so broken piece of the shields and all that stuff, using any means necessary, eventually this tree begins to crush down or crumple down, and you can do with it as you wish.
as this goes, like he's almost lumberjacking this shit where he just wants to create like he starts sizing Ant up. He's like, okay, he's about 8 tall. All right, this tree, if I cut a section here and then I can cut directly in between, I can basically get the equivalent to a riot shield. That's 100% what he's doing right now.
Goodness gracious. As you sort of do so, you cut out a majority of it, but you do see as a couple of birds are looking at you pissed off as you just cut down their goddamn home. But that's all right, they'll make a new one. But as you sort of fly off, you do have the wood or any of the means necessary to make this sort of thing, like a little basic version, right?
Yeah, nothing too crazy. And he's gonna take this whole side section of the shield, and he's gonna go stand directly in front of Ant, and he's just gonna basically like hold it in front of him and just dig it directly into the snow, into the ground, directly in front of him. Now cover is great. As we start telling Ant about the purpose of cover for a ranged fighter not being near the enemy, so that he can get he can hide behind this thing, gunslinger, right? Spellcaster, whatever it may be. And after a little while, he starts talking about the purpose of movable cover, as he will connect his shields back again and start moving back and forth with the shield in front of him, so that it's you not only have cover, you have movable cover at this point, right? Like, yes, you can stand in front, you can stand behind a pillar, but if someone comes from behind you, right, you need to be able to move that pillar. You can't do that with a stationary object, but you can with a shield.
I see.
Now, as he's gonna do this, he's gonna pick up another rock, bud. He's just kind of do me a favor, equip that shield.
Oh, my bad.
Would actually.
You can actually throw on arm strikes now. Fix the thingy.
Okay.
Sure.
All right, he's on.
All right, here we go. We're
Shielding.
gonna try to do this, and I'm gonna give myself disadvantage for this because I'm really not actually trying to hit him. I'm trying to explain something.
Doesn't even matter.
Which is perfect because it doesn't hit on either side of that. So.
As you sort of do so, you throw the rock over towards Anth, and Anth, as you have this sort of makeshift shield, how would you imagine you are able to sort of defend yourself from the rock?
I mean, I assume that it's probably saying that the attack roll was so low. It's like just ducking behind it. Okay, I understand. I understand how this works. Like it's nothing. It's nothing new. I understand how cover works, but I'm more so unfamiliar of how would I utilize this in combat when it comes to fighting with people. I mean, I've tried it once. It wasn't really my thing. Maybe I was doing something wrong with it.
You carry I haven't seen you use it, but you carry a gun, yes?
Yes.
So he's gonna walk over. He can't really touch your gun, but where is your actual gun technically?
It's like a holster on his side, like basically just a little under his jacket.
He's going to pull to kind of point at the weapon, because technically he can't touch any other weapons, right? So he's just gonna kind of point at it real quick and be like, "All right, take it out."
And he does so.
As he's gonna take your arm, and basically what he's gonna do with the shield directly in front of you, he's gonna take your arm and move it directly to the side and see where you stand. All right, take a step back for a second, would you? Leave the shield there. He's gonna look at it, and he's literally gonna break out his shield again, and he's literally right in right where that was. He's just gonna basically punch a hole right through where it would be, so Ant will be able to hold it, look through this hole while shooting his gun around this bitch like a perfect riot shield.
As you do so, all right, let's go. Let's see.
So, you want me to roll for something, or you want me to, or we good?
Yeah, you can do one final roll, but also just kind of getting the general basics down. And this is Anth putting down the shield and then sort of looking out the side, popping a couple of shots towards you. Correct?
Yep. So, like, I would hand him back the shield and be like, all right, now you can see me, you can see where you are shooting. He's gonna leave the shields undone. I mean, granted, he's got pretty high armor, so the AC would be 20 as opposed to 22. So, all right, hit me while holding the shield. Feel free to shoot.
Okay. He takes a step back, and are you sure you want me to really try and shoot you right now? Are you fine with getting hurt?
I'm gonna look at him. You deem you can hurt me?
Well, I
fucking
think
fire
other
away,
things
bro.
hurt you, so.
Fucking fire away, bro.
All right.
I'm hoping for the result I'm looking for. And
I'm hoping he gets like a nat 20 and puts all of his.
Yeah, bro. I'm sorry.
All right.
I know Sammy wants to do it.
Well, that's an unfortunate roll.
That's not gonna happen.
There's a 0 missing from the dice.
Yeah.
After last session, we never decided who should get the inspo. Should we? Can we all vote right now to give it to Anth so that he can nat 20 multiple?
Give him
it if you use it right now. That would be the only way I can be fine with this because you didn't pick it.
Alright, might as well use it then. Let's do this. Hit me!
When Ulf wants to get shot, we give him that chance.
And shoot off.
He's still getting he's still getting used to having his hands full. So
this is definitely some Taiga Southern shit right here.
There it is.
Shoot
You
me,
fucking
shoot me, brother. And with a 22, does that actually hit Ulf or no?
Oh yeah, no, that definitely hits Ulf. That would hit Ulf even if he had complete shields up.
Oh man, with that you take 6 points of damage, and like I don't know, one or the other. I guess Anth, you sort of shoot him. Ulf, what is your sort of reaction as you're actually seeing as he's able to sort of not only be able to defend himself but also get past your own defenses simultaneously?
So the first question, Ulf, is where did you shoot him? First off.
I mean, the attempt would probably be somewhere like trying to, of course, avoid hitting anything like your fucking face. So it's probably gonna be like aimed at either a shoulder or somewhere like an arm. Where
Perfect. Shoulder works perfect. Mm-hmm. So as Ulf is sitting there, I said, hit me! Boom! As his whole shoulder just and you just see this smile just creep across his face, like he did it.
Only in the fucking Taiga, bro.
Looking at how Ulf reacted to getting hit, like, I'm glad my enemies don't cheer when they get hit this creepy.
And Ulf is just gonna like reach up on his shoulder and use the lay on hands, and you're just gonna see the wound just disappear as he wipes a little bit of that blood off. All right. Very well then. Now, move and shoot. And we don't actually have to make any rolls, but like basically what's happening at this point is like he's gonna take the time to get Anth really comfortable with being able to hold the shield, shooting around it like a riot shield, right? And just basically making him feel comfortable with it, right? Spending some time in the downtime to make sure he's comfortable with doing everything.
Easy enough. As you do, you continue on training as much as you can. Those of you back at Elowin's place, you do hear a couple of random gunshots in the Oblivion, but you do know that it's hopefully, Anth, and hopefully they're not getting hurt, or, you know, they're being safe about it. They're not, but it's all good, because they eventually return back. Stronger than
Oh
ever?
no, we not done yet. We not done yet, buddy.
Oh no, okay.
He's
fair
got to teach me something.
Fair enough. Fair
I
enough.
just started with it. He's got to teach me something.
We'll say like about 30 minutes to an hour, a little bit after the fact. Eventually, as you're pretty much you think that Anth has got the hang of this sort of martial training. Go ahead.
All right, my friend. Now, for your part of this deal.
All right. Well, I know that we are, for example, going to the tournament where we'll be seeing a lot of people that we don't know anything about. So you may not, want to reveal all your secrets right away. So, understandably, for example, your shield looks, well, very decorated. Will probably catch a few eyes here and there. And a lot of people that we know around here probably are fairly knowledgeable on gods and, well, any other divine beings out there. So, you may not want to reveal information, but you don't want to get too many yes or no questions either. So you can always just tell people that your shield used to be powered by the gods. Even if someone knows about Dendar, you're not really lying, right? So,
So you're saying I don't have to lie, but I don't have to tell them everything.
Well, that's kind of the point of keeping secrets, isn't it?
Ulf is 100% scratching his head because Ulf has never kept a secret ever.
This is something that like most like 5-year-olds learn, but like Ulf is just thinking about it for the first time, like, oh shit, this changes everything.
He has been like emotions on his sleeve. Everybody knows everything. He is the straightest shooter and probably all of Soulbound, to be honest with you. Like,
okay, and takes his gun out, and it's like seemingly ready to shoot you, and says, so imagine this. I wanted to know if you are a follower of any god, because your shield, for example, looks like reminds me a lot of a weapon that
yes, Shield of Dindar!
not quite what I was looking for. Imagine I was someone who opposed said God, and you wanted to get something from me. You wouldn't tell them that you are a follower. So, rather, you could tell them that your shield is not, used to be a weapon powered by Dendar, but now is just a reminder that even gods can die, which, again, as far as I know, isn't exactly a lie either.
Can I ask for Ant to roll an insight check real quick for something?
Sure.
All right.
Rip. Not read that mess.
On a side note, I'm going to send you that message, Sensei, for what that was actually for.
Oh man, so yeah, you have no idea. You're just doing your thing, bro. Just doing your thing. At this point, while Ulf is sort of sending that message, you see his like Zappy sort of looking around like behind a tree, just making sure that everything's okay. You guys haven't killed each other, and then he's just gonna go back to trying to chase like a duck or something in the random wild or something. All right. Go ahead.
To finish his point that Ant was saying, that you could always tell that the shield is more of a reminder that even gods can die, will just leave people wondering if you are, sad about a god dying or out here to kill more. So nobody can exactly tell if you're with or against the gods, and they'll probably have questions after that. that will likely give you a chance to get to know their stance on this issue. But
I think I see what you're talking about.
yeah,
And-
there are a few things you always want to do when you're, well, trying to sell people either half-truths or lies.
So you're saying instead of telling Graswawa that I burnt the bacon, I offer it to her anyhow and just call it extra crispy.
The only problem with that is that you are holding the evidence that prove you wrong. But
Is it not extra
yes,
crispy bacon at the time?
Basically, you are correct.
This is
That
the
does
RP I
make-
needed in my life.
That makes surprisingly much sense. But yes,
I think I see.
but
Alright.
when it comes to something like that, you don't want to go and offering someone extra crispy bacon if you know that they are familiar with the foods already, which comes to the first point of do not go in blind if at all possible to get any kind of information beforehand when you're trying to sell these kind of things. You won't be selling extra crispy bacon to a cook.
I see. And how would I gather that information?
You can always give them a few questions or a couple white lies that they will either obviously pick up on or
White lies. As he looks down at the snow, having no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
right.
Like, you are teaching a 5-year-old right now
Alright,
how to lie,
well,
bro. He has
For
no
example,
idea.
picks up a little bit of snow. You can tell someone that this is flour or snow. The way they pick, if they call it out to be snow, they are definitely not extremely dumb. So they might know something about food. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I think so. As he's just scratching his head.
Okay. Maybe we'll continue speaking of this as we go on, and situational examples will work better for you.
Oh, 100%. I just at this point, like, I didn't put it in originally, but can we just say for like the remainder of whenever this happened, for the remainder of the downtime, Ant was teaching Alf to lie to Graz, to Yahi, to like everybody, and like he
Oh,
was
no.
ridiculously bad. And then every time he would succeed, he would like do this little dance and give himself away. Like, we gotta make that canon now.
Oh my god.
I imagine everybody else obviously noticed this, and we're just like, let's just let him have it.
Yeah.
Oh, really, Ulf? Yeah, that's great.
That's flour? Oh my god.
The only one telling him
He's
to
so
stop
proud.
is and something like, hey, bro, no. No.
He's so proud. Let him be.
Sooner or later, he'll sooner or later during that downtime, he'll finally actually get it, and he may slip one or two of them by, right, and just finally start to understand. Like, okay, I can say this as opposed to this, and it's not a lie, but it's not a whole truth either, right? He plays the political game, and it takes him forever to figure it out, right? But he's starting to get it. I wouldn't say he was a
Drake,
master of it.
for you. Because what's Ulf's deception?
It's not very high. Well, it is a plus 6 because like, I do got good
It's-
charisma.
okay.
It
That's
is
pretty
a
high.
charisma stat.
But I wouldn't
is
say that
pretty
it's
high.
good, right?
It's-
But like,
That's
he's gonna
pretty
use
good.
it as a persuasive. He's gonna use it as a persuasive. That's why he doesn't want to flat out lie to someone. He just doesn't want to tell them the whole truth, right? So he's playing the political game where he's persuading someone with facts. It's just not all the facts.
Easy enough. Easy enough.
I would say after that's kind of done though. Unless Anth has something else that he wants to say specifically for this, I'll move on to the last thing that I got.
Yeah, you go.
So after a while again, Ulf would probably drag Anth back out here again, or go to the Arena of the Gods. It doesn't really matter for this purpose, but you know, a little bit more training, right? He would try to slip something past Anth, right? You know, kind of as his quote unquote ultimate test, right? Just something small, right? Whatever it may be, right? And then you know, after Anth would you know, kind of has become proficient with that shield and you know, is able to really get around and do everything that he needs to do. Ulf is actually gonna like just drop both of his shields, and for the first time, he's actually going to actually touch one of the other party members, other than Pyre, who he deemed to punch in the nose. He's never actually done really anything with any other partner or with any other Seven Souls member at all, and he's gonna walk over to Anth and he's gonna basically just extend his hand, right, and just wait.
Extend his hand in which way? Like expecting a handshake? Or...
Yeah, we're talking like handshakes, and we're not like, I'm putting out the hand that if he touched the other one, right, it would be like if I put out my left hand, like if it was a handshake, it would be a mark transfer. But I'm doing specifically the one that is not going to be his marked hand. All right, I'm putting this out first and foremost.
At first
I'm not
I was
making
like,
that
oh man,
mistake.
did they finally forget? I was waiting for it.
No,
And then it's like,
no,
nah,
I'm
God
not.
damn it.
No,
All
I'm not
right.
doing that.
I mean, for a second being a bit confusing, I suppose this is the end of our training. Thank you. And grab your hand to shake it.
As soon as Anth goes to grab his hand, Ulf's gonna like almost jut forward and grab his forearm instead of his actual hand and just pull Anth directly straight forward and give him the best of the bro hugs. The best of the bro hugs.
Look at this guy. Oh man, I love Wolfen.
Bromance in Seven Souls. We've been
best
waiting
of
for
the
this for so
So
long.
long.
Anth is the chosen one.
Oh my god.
Alright, now he wants to marry you. Get the fuck out.
For a second, I was worried that he was going to
Run.
kiss me.
No. So
Mhm.
he gives him that bro hug. I have something for you.
Oh, what's that? Another hug?
Not quite, but if you want to consider it that way, this will be a good reminder of the hug. As he's going to produce the equivalent to a vest, right? You see it as a vest. On the outside, I had to ask a few individuals, as he tries not to give away all the information, using pretty much what he learned from you to give half truths and information without giving actual information. And well, I was able to procure a vest and a few scales. You may not believe in Dindar, but as your shield wall, I believe the best way to protect you is to have that moving protection. And he's gonna open up the he's gonna like undo like the 3 buttons on the front of the vest and open it up, and on the inside is literally just going to be lined with serpent scales all the way down.
Whoops.
Mm.
Let's focus our
Interesting design.
I believe you should be able to move quite easily with this, but it should apply more, or should give you way more protection if you ever find yourself in danger. Even if you don't believe in him, believe in me. Believe in this armor.
as he would take the vest and look at it, like it probably feels like, okay, it's a little sturdier, so it's not like just a piece of clothing with fancy lining. And that's like, well, I didn't expect this from you, but thank you for paying attention to how it looks. I appreciate that.
You have a very odd sense of taste, but I figured instead of trying to change you, I would just go with it.
Very thoughtful of you.
You told me to find the information for my conversational purposes. Well, I figure I would use more senses and use my eyes for once as well.
Your eye.
Ah. As he summons both of his shields again and knocks that shit back together as the eye is not on the shield. Eyes.
I appreciate the vest. We can be done with this training for now, huh?
Very well. So he's gotten him a shield and he's gotten him a serpent scale armor.
Awesome. And with that, as you begin to look over, eventually sort of seeing all the sort of things that you now have gained, not even just the physical things, but also the bits of intelligence and knowledge you have also gained.
The bromance.
That too. Your minds begin to drift back towards the present as you return back towards the scene where you all left off last session. Specifically, once you first arrived towards, well, this strange island of Bayani. And as you do, you look around and over, and as you see all these sort of differing sort of cultures and individuals all around, and the beautiful sights as well, you look over and something has to ruin it. Up above, you look towards the sky and you see a massive sort of crack as the sky begins to break like glass. It begins to shatter before your very eyes. And with that, you look over, and as eventually nightfall begins to brace each and every one of you, it's now darkness begins to consume the area. You do notice, however, that eventually a couple of these sort of, some people begin to light torches, but mostly it's pretty much well lit from the bits of lighting on the buildings and more. And I've tried to do my absolute best to kind of be able to still convey that, hey, it's dark, but also there are some things kind of lighting it up, just so you guys get the general idea, right? But at this point, you look around and you see so many individuals. It's up to you on where you want to figure out where to go and what you want to do in this moment in time. As we start off, let's give a couple others a chance and such. So, Graz, Resnick, or Yahato, is there anything specific that you three would immediately want to do or say as you all have sort of arrived here first? There it is.
Yahato? Oh, at least you made it this time.
Oh, what?
Oh man. But
Or
Graz was
stick
saying
into
something
the
too,
party.
Resnick.
Whatever they want to do, they do.
Foxy, did you have something that you wanted to do?
The only thing I was gonna really do to begin off with was just like have Asu turn to a second me to look normal and not freak out anybody.
Easy enough. You got it. As he does so, he'll begin to look over and say, all right, I got this. And you'll see as he begins to activate the hat, and he will transform into you. Give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna get that set up on res and bam and prints only. There we go.
Yeah.
All right, so as he begins to look, or basically be your doppelganger for a moment, you look over and all around, and Drayax will look and see and say, oh, damn. Oh, man, I almost sort of forgot exactly how beautiful the other sort of places in Voden are. Besides a little bit of the cold of the taiga. Don't get me wrong, sort of looks over to Graz, knowing the audience and such. I mean, taiga's beautiful and such, but definitely is nice to have a change of pace. every now and again. Yeah. Speaking of which, you sure you ain't gonna be like burning up and all that sort of armor y'all got? And he's more so referring to all the armor you guys were sort of wearing in the likes of the cold to prevent from freezing to death. Now that you guys are in a normal temperature place.
By normal temperature, do you mean like actual normal temperate or like Florida, Georgia normal? 100 degrees?
It's actually like, that's a good question. All right, let's see. High is Georgia, Florida. Low is just normal. All right, it's just normal. It's reasonable. It's reasonable.
Actual temperate, yeah.
Yeah.
Cross will take off some of her like fur-lined stuff, but she'll keep her armor on in general.
Yeah, of course, of course.
She did tell everybody to be prepared. Watch all of their belongings. Don't go off on your own. Don't get mugged. She gave a whole long list in that tournament planning, and she's expecting everybody to remember it.
Rashid
Don't worry, all my items are inside of my armor, right?
If this was the case, Rashid has a very important question to look over. And this can be like beforehand or whenever, but hey, so like, what if we want to sort of, we see somebody like, oh, that's a dickhead, and it's just like, hey, maybe they won't be missing that one thing, and your hands get a little bit sticky, and you just yoink. Oh wow, they don't have this thing anymore. Crazy.
Rashid. Rashid.
Yes.
If you get caught,
I don't know you.
have never seen you, and you have never seen any of us.
Oh, of course, of course.
We don't know who you are, and you don't know who we are.
Oh, well, oh, of course, I would never sort of do anything like that. Besides, Rashid and shit, we never get caught. Not at all. No, I'm serious. We've never really gotten caught. Now, beforehand, I'm not going to lie, we did have a good old friend of mine. Actually, funny enough, they actually were Kitsune. We used to run a lot of sort of cons back in the day. But, we went our separate ways, and, I don't really have a partner in crime, but I still have a couple of things that I can sort of do. And remember, I only do it to people who truly deserve it. Not just some random Joe Schmo.
Rashid, just don't do it on your own. Just, ask for our permission first.
Do I have your permission to do it? You just ask right now.
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay, fine. And when do I get my allowance, Dad?
Rashid, I'm just gonna remind you one more time. Whatever you decide to do is your choice. But number one, be smart about it. Don't make arbitrary dumb choices, because that's how you get caught. 2, if you get caught, you're on your own. So if you get caught and they take you to prison, we're not helping you. Get good. So those are the only 2 things I'm going to remind you of, my friend.
Be better.
Be better.
I like it, people.
Saying that, I'm just making sure. He will first snap his fingers as he will dismiss the sage blade. Unequipped, nothing. It's not in his hand. It doesn't exist. And further, he will just like unzip his jacket, like not all the way down, but like just unzip it, like first at the chest level. Just
hold on. Important
he does
question.
have a shirt under that.
Okay.
He's not naked.
That was my question. Was
No,
he
it's
wearing
not
a shirt?
Zale. No, he does have a shirt.
All right.
All the fans are like, God damn it.
Well, if that's it, I suppose we can all go check in. Everyone?
Yeah, but it's been a while since I've sort of been here. I'm not really the best at guides and such, especially with the whole memories and stuff being foggy. But I'm sure we could probably just ask around, figure out where to go, and get to sort of check-ins and such. All right. So,
Let's
7 souls. It's up to you on where you guys want to go, and I'll let you know if you sort of see anything of interest. But you can also go and proactively just start talking to people if you so choose. Just things of note, you kind of look over off to the side. You could see as there's 2 individuals from basically the Forbidden Expanse sort of conversing with one another. They're looking at the sights and more, but I'd say probably Resnick, make a perception check for me, please.
Okay. Character sheet, perception check.
19. You look over, and as you're kind of walking by, they see like the giant bear, and then the also you and yourself, and just everyone sort of traversing, and you can kind of hear with your 19 perception check, they're whispering, they're talking, and in fact, they're even talking about you all. What they're talking about, which you are able to understand with the 19, is that, ugh, goodness gracious. My word, I can smell them from all the way over here. Yes, I think they're probably from the taiga. Ugh. The pelt seems like it hasn't been washed in ages. And they're just general being obnoxious, hoity-toity, you know how it is. As they're sort of washing as you go on by, but you don't really have to do anything about it or not.
Are those these people?
Yes, those people.
Roz would just casually walk over after hearing this and say,
"Oh no, they're coming."
Were you saying something?
You know, oh boy, make an intimidation check, Groz. We'll see what happens.
Way ahead of you.
Can I help her?
Hey, no need. 18. They're looking over and they're just saying, this guy is just sort of stuck for a second. He's like, the woman begins to speak and said, no, we were just sort of thinking of exactly how lovely your eyes are. And the sort of tattoo or marking amongst your head is quite wondrous. Where is it? Are you from one of the Storm Talon clan? And you can get the sense, Groz, that they're just basically like, well, here, make an insight check, I'll give you advantage, you know?
Excellent. I actually do have advantage on insight checks anyway, so.
Oh, perfect.
What is it? Shift, Control, Alt?
Alt.
Let's just...
18, yeah, you're killing it. So it's more of like they say, oh, Storm Talon clan, because they're just trying to make something up. They clearly have never been to the like taiga at all. They're like, they probably heard this in a random tavern or some shit, and they're like, yeah, just trying to just end this situation as fast as possible, you know?
Groz just towers over them, completely unfazed, with just a pleasant but semi-threatening smile on her face, and says, my clan is none of your business, but if I were you, if I were wearing fake Gucci, I wouldn't be making comments like that here. And then she walks away.
That is my bear.
They
Confident
look over
bear.
at each other. They look and sort of mess with one of their sort of neck or earrings. Begin to sort of look at it. Wait, she's right. It is fake. And that's no. And you see, it's like that's the last sort of thing you sort of hear as they're sort of screaming off in the background. You look over and you see as a couple of the Vulcan individuals that were actually witnessing that encounter, they're sort of chuckling to themselves. They kind of give you a sort of nod of respect. You could talk to them if you wish, but they just look over and they acknowledge you, you know.
Excellent. Cross gives him just a little nod back. But no, we are going to check in.
Group. As you sort of...
Groz, you know where that is?
I'm assuming that there
I get the whole confident thing, but you know what that is?
The smell of a bear, I think she can smell the food. Let's go.
I was figuring...
Continue.
Yes, I was figuring that as someone who has worked in like theme parks and events before, usually there are signs, but even if there aren't signs, there's one building here. Are you catching on? There's one building, probably the place we should go.
Fair enough.
I love you, bro.
Maybe.
You look in and just to not lead you on or anything, you do notice as there's like the building itself more so seems to be just like as a, no one seems to be actually inside it really. It's more so like it's blocked off from the populace. People are just sort of gathering around it. You don't necessarily know what they're gathering around for it or if it's for anything. A lot of people in general here, they're just sort of talking about just general random things, nothing too particular. Some people are talking about like, oh, were you here or around for last tournament, or did amnesia get to you? Because this is just a sort of common thing in the likes of, you know, Soul, like in Voden, sadly. But hey, they're just, or no, we ran into a bunch of raiders that sort of took us for all of our stuff and shit. You know, it's just typical fucked up Voden stuff that's just apparently normal here, right? And that's mainly like what most people are sort of conversing with. All right. We're gonna see.
Hey, G, sure you don't wanna talk to anyone first? No, we're kind of like just there's a lot of people in here, and you're just going ahead.
Hey, if out of game, if anybody actually wants to do anything, please go for it. Like Roz isn't like beelining like we have to go. She's just like, hey, let's just go to check in. But if anyone wants to do anything else, like I'm not trying to like own this or be like, oh, power walking Groz. Like just do it.
Sensei.
Yep.
Proceed.
Can I perception check that sleight of hand?
You can certainly try. Roll with advantage.
All right, hold on.
Bro, you know what you're looking at.
Yep.
Well, will he act on it? The world may never know. But Rashid's just doing his thing. Alright. But while this is sort of happening, you'll see as Zappy is just looking over towards Ulf like, oh my gosh, there's so many colors! I thought it was only just gonna be snow everywhere. This is so cool. He just begins to look over, starts sniffing one of the flowers, and then it just bites down and rips one of the flowers out from the sort of stems and such. It even tastes good too, Ulf. Look at this, you gotta try this.
Be careful, don't eat anything that I do not give you, Zappy.
But, and you see as he sort of like chomp it down, mouthful of flowers and stuff. But even if it's really cool?
Even if it's really cool, here we must be more cautious. As he points over to Gross, the bear says so.
Okay. Make a persuasion check, Wolf.
Okay.
Alright, Zappy will get the point for now. For now.
As you know what, as it happens, you know, I still got some bacon, right? We're gonna slip him a little bit of that food, right? Give him something else to munch on. You don't just tell the man he can't eat. Give him something better.
Easy enough. His entire demeanor just shifts, and he completely forgot about the flowers. It's all about bacon now. That's the only thing going across his mind.
That's right.
The truly important things.
The truly important things.
You will see. Oh, go ahead, man.
Yeah, while we are walking all the way here and going through this area, and would definitely be looking out for anyone if there happens to be anyone who's like kind of, you know, like trying to look at people, but whenever somebody looks at them, they're avoiding any kind of eye contact. You know, that kind of bullshit that you see in every fucking movie with people tracking anyone. So
make a investigation or perception check for me.
Not horrible.
16. You look around, it's not really that much of that sort of vibe getting it from everybody. At most, you'd probably see, at most you'd probably see as a couple of individuals, they're more so, I guess, things of note rather than people who are kind of like looking away from you, right? You do see this sort of individual on an actual fucking mammoth, and they are Goliath of the sorts. You also see as there are a couple of Samadans off to the side, specifically oculi of the sorts. And you would rather see as they're more so looking towards some of the other individuals in Jaded Dragon Valley, and they'll kind of like look away from them once they kind of make eye contact rather, but not necessarily towards you. Looking around, besides that, I'm gonna DM you something. I'll DM you something.
All right.
But that's about it.
Hold on, Tim, is this? Oh, it is Ragnar.
It is.
I had to change their art.
It's because he's an artist now. He changed his look, changed his aesthetic.
All right. So that's what you sort of see. In the meantime, you will notice as an individual will look over and say, "Oh my goodness, that's an adorable little puppy. Would you mind if I pet it?" And you'll see as this Vulcan woman will actually sort of walk over and they kind of look over towards Zappy. Here, boy. Here, boy. Immediately eyes glaze over. Zappy's just rushing over, just teleports over towards the woman, just starts jumping, just almost attacking her at this point. Looking. It's fine. It's fine. We actually used to have a couple of wolves, or more so full-on wolves in the taiga and such. You are an excited little individual. As gives them zap kisses and such, with a little bits of electricity and more.
I'm gonna keep one eye. I'm gonna keep one eye. Like,
Oh,
she's
yeah.
acting friendly, but I'm always gonna keep one eye open for, you know, things,
Yep, fair enough. Fair enough.
whatever it may be.
She'll look over and kind of break a general basic conversation and say, "Is this one yours?"
He is in fact, our party's, but I'm the general caretaker.
I see. And they'll look over, and as they're kind of petting the dog, and they'll, let it return back towards you and such, and see. They'll look at each and every one of you, and recognizing that you guys are clearly from the taiga due to your just aesthetic and more, I'll begin to kind of nod and say, the women themselves, they're dressed in like. Graz would probably be able to explain this best, really. But a lot of people in the taiga, even though they may not necessarily be fighters, they still dress in general sort of warrior-esque garb, just in case a fight breaks out. Most of the time, people in the taiga, they know how to fight, regardless of whether they want to be a warrior or not. Compared to like even Jaded Dragon Valley, like some people just might be a farmer, or they might just be, an artist, or Kalani, they might just be like an entertainer rather. They're not trained to fight from birth.
Sensei, you can sum all this up in one word.
Viking.
They're Vikings.
But she'll look over and sort of say, you all are you all competing in the tournament?
We will be.
Most of us, anyway.
I see. I was glad to sort of see that maybe some more individuals can represent the likes of the taiga. We didn't necessarily do as great as we hoped for last time, but I think have good or high hopes for this year.
Will you be competing?
Oh, no. I'll sort of look over and they kind of sort of look towards their arm. This sort of thing won't necessarily let me. Injured it a couple of years ago, and fighting has never been necessarily, I guess it wasn't necessarily my calling besides out of necessity, right?
Graz gives her a warm smile and says, "We'll just be happy to have your support then."
Very well.
What
Go ahead.
What do you mean by last time?
Last time, they kind of look over, they kind of just more so assume rather than anything, just in case any of you were sort of amnesiacs from the sort of stars and such, right? This is Bayani, this is a tournament that happens pretty frequently and such. Imagine it's the equivalent of the Iroas Games, if you will, but more so for Voden, rather, an annual sort of event. We didn't necessarily, last time, the Taiga at least, we didn't, or the Velkin specifically, we didn't necessarily do as great as we hoped for. Wish for first place, but seemed to be that since that new bit of rulership with Emperor Zhao and the Ishtarans and such, they were able to sort of take things over. But,
What happened last time?
well, quite frankly, as far as I really remember, it was just they were. I wish I could sort of give you a sort of great, sort of grand excuse saying, oh, they cheated and such, but ultimately they played the game and they played it well. Simple as that. They are fierce competition. That's all I can really say about that.
We'll let that go. He was just basically fishing for information. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. But this if you are looking to sort of be in this tournament, just be aware this is a ruthless place. And a lot of times, well, people at that little bits of quote-unquote time for battle and such really get to their heads, if you will, and willing to do anything.
Don't worry. We've been through worse.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Do you happen to know where the, where the check-ins are, so we can sign up?
Yeah. I think I heard a couple of individuals were sort of speaking. These like random mass individuals. I have no idea who the heck they are, but they sort of randomly they began to sort of start arriving a little while ago. They're over there, and they'll see as he points over. She points over towards the three keepers off towards the south, and they were saying that a couple of them were sort of responsible for transporting warriors and souls or individuals to where they need to be. I'm kind of scared to talk to them, but if you want to, by all means, go for it.
The keepers. Huh. Yeah, don't worry. They're cool guys.
They are.
Fair enough. I have to get going, but
thanks.
Oh,
You also gotta get going.
Yeah.
hey, no
Thanks
worries,
for your
no
help.
worries. Yeah, of course. Also, you'll see as this is sort of happening, Rashid sort of looks over and it's just like it kind of like bump into Resnick, and as you guys are sort of walking, saying, "Hey, Resi, look what I got." You see as he sort of like pulls out a sort of thing. I robbed it from that noble bastard over there. If you want, you can sort of hold on to it, but you don't have to. And it seems to have a little bit of a necklace. It seems to be made out of rubies and such. I think it will fetch a good price.
That's all on you, my friend.
All right,
Your phone with
fine. Oh, man, I miss Ray. Yes. But while this sort of happening, eventually the sort of Vulcan woman will begin to start walking away, sort of saying their goodbyes and such. But as this is sort of going on, Resnick, Rashid will look over and speak and say, how exactly did you sort of, how exactly did you arrive in Voden and such? Were you always here, or like, how did you sort of get here? I don't know.
I signed up for a contract, and the keepers brought me. And before that, I was elsewhere. And I was in Voden. It was very instantaneous.
Fair enough. Yeah. Well, look at it this way. At least you weren't sort of like ripped from another place and such and brought here. At least, you think so, right? But glad to have you a part of the team, Even though I'm not really officially a part of the team, I'm more so just couch surfing with you guys for a bit. But, you know what I mean.
No, I understand. I was doing that for a time with the Voden Knight, so I completely understand.
Actually, I think they're supposed to be here or something. I remember I was receiving a couple of messages from the Knights and such. They were trying to contact me, especially there's this individual, Gore of the Meadows. Like, he's apparently great guy. Phoenix loves him. But so does Dindar, So I was like, okay, fine. I'll look out for you and fine. So I'm kind of looking for the VK as well. Yeah.
We'll keep an eye out together then.
Fair enough. And glad to have that. Well, with Asayu, you have like what, an extra 8 eyes, I guess. I don't know how it works, but
He's not the greatest at perception. He's the muscle of the two of us.
I see.
I'll keep an eye out, but he gets the job done. Keeper Raya might know if any points down to where all the keepers would be, or any of the VK if we want to go check that out.
Nah, yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. And while this is sort of happening, you look over and let's make another perception check for me, please. Everybody can stop moving for a second.
Okay. Right.
No, hold on, stop moving. So as this is sort of going on, that thing that I was talking about earlier, it hasn't stopped and it's getting worse. And at this point, you would look over and you see a piece of where they're at is breaking. Is there anything you do?
I'm sorry. I I had something going on.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Not catch what
Yeah,
you
sorry,
said.
repeat that real quick.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. So, you wouldn't know, Resnick, because you just don't have the context to it, like everybody else. But for Anth, you would know because he has the context to it. So, essentially, that thing that I messaged you about earlier, it's getting worse. And the thing that they're at, it is breaking beneath it or beneath them.
Okay.
That's it. Is there anything that you say or do about it, or nah? Just letting it be.
Just gonna take a few steps over here. Give them a couple of looks and just walk out the way. See how they feel about that.
Oh, buddy. All right. Make a charisma check of your choice, whichever one you so choose. And I will react accordingly, my friend. Pick wisely, that's all I will say.
So confused.
Okay.
I'm just stepping back just a little bit. Just standing right here for no apparent reason.
Damn, there's no. What would you say would be the role for annoyance?
Intimidation.
Annoyance.
Sure. Well, that's not great.
Oh, well, fantastic. All right, y'all. Here we go. As this is sort of happening, Anthony sort of give him that sort of look and then eventually begin to walk off. And it doesn't give the reaction necessarily you might have been hoping for. As you look over and just sort of sitting up amongst high above this sort of rooftop, you see as they're looking down and the sort of, how you say, wall that they were kind of holding on to as they're looking down below, they're sort of gripping it before it just begins to shatter through their bare hands as they are seething with rage and anger for a moment. As this is happening, oh boy, you begin to look over and you can sort of see all the pain and all the hurt being inflicted upon them or had being inflicted upon them in their past, as you can hear it in the emotion in their voice as they begin to speak and say, "You think you can come down and lord over us mere mortals once again as if we're nothing? After all you've done, just prancing about as if nothing has happened, thinking you can simply just walk about as if no one will ever know." And you see as they're beginning to shout at this point, a couple individuals sort of looking up and they're sort of wondering what the hell is going on or what's gonna happen up there. And you see as they begin to break the likes of these sort of rooftop, a little portion of the rooftop that they're grabbing on, and the air around them begins to become blazing with a red hot fury as you could feel the intensity of her hatred towards one specific thing, faction,
What's that?
individual.
What would that be?
Well,
What could it be?
let's have a little bit of a little context flashback for a second. Out of game, Sammy. Why not? As this individual begins to start seething with rage, the bits of memories begin to start flashing through them, the bits of trauma and more. remembering the screams of the divine Valkyries themselves, their majestic forms clashing with mortals, or more so devils and demons and infernals and such, out of rage and retribution. Looking over at them, seeing all the destruction that they cause for their sake of justice and peace, by the means of destruction and wrath. You see, as this individual looks down or looks on younger, but sees all this bits of destruction happening to their people, even if it may necessarily still be human-ish in some way, shape, or form. Their ties to fiends, their ties to the infernals runs deep. Looking on towards them as they begin to strike each and every one of them down, they look over towards you, Auroraverse. They see as you carry this sort of energy, you carry this sort of aura about, and they can see it just from even glancing at you. And as they do, oh boy. You look
Whatever
over.
you do right now, Gross, step to your right.
And as this happens, I'm gonna drop this. You can play that wherever
Wrong.
you wish.
Okay.
And hey, Gross.
Mm-hmm.
Dexterity saving throw.
Why I said step to your right before he says it.
Yep.
I told you all, stay close to Ulf.
Plus
8.
5? Plus 6?
Plus 6, 24.
24? Cool. You don't go as far, but you still go here. Groz, as this is sort of happening, you eventually see as this individual begins to fly down directly towards you, and immediately, just almost with breakneck speed, they grab you by the neck and just toss you directly into this fountain right here and now. Each and every one of you see as it begins to start breaking and shattering, but Groz, you're able to stand and hold your ground as you're pushing them back as much as you possibly can with that 18 and also the sort of bonuses from Ulf as they they begin to rush over towards you, drawing the likes of their whip and blade, and begin to speak and say, "Not any more." They look over towards you, and as they do, Yahato, you can try one little thing, but after that, this is going off. One thing and one action only, buddy.
I was going to say that I was
Can I
going to
get a
take an
bonus
action.
action? Can I get a turn?
One or the other, buddy.
One or the
If
other.
if you can't do it all in one, I'll try something, but it's your choice.
Yeah, you try something else.
I don't know how good of a wisdom they got. The one thing that I could probably try is the hold person and paralyze her where she stands. I've done it once. It's up to you guys if you want me to try for a second time.
Go ahead.
I'm for it.
All right, go for it.
Very well done.
What is this as you begin to try to cast the whole person, what does it look like as you do so, Ulf?
As this goes, basically, like, seeing her go straight down, you're just gonna see Ulf basically just drop both of his hands as the snakes will slither, basically shoot out from his arms, slither directly up around her. We're gonna find out whether or not she can do it. It is a for hold person, it is a wisdom saving throw, please.
You got it. As that will happen, let's see. That will be an 11. So what she will do is, as the snakes are sort of flying over towards her, beginning to wrap around, you see as she's getting, or she doesn't notice them for a second in this blind rage, she looks down at the snakes, and she just steps and stomps their entire head into the ground. She will use a legendary resistance instead to resist. This fight
Of course
is
you will.
between me and her. Know your place. And she is going to grab Groz and just start soaring, bamfing her wings, and taking you for a ride. So
All
remember,
right.
Sammy, how I said this session is going to be a ride? Well,
Here we go.
oh boy, you thought you could avoid it. You see as she begins to start grabbing the legs of Groz, and I need you to make an athletics check versus her athletics check as she begins to start taking you and just almost dragging you amongst the ground and tossing you off to the side. All right, athletics versus athletics, Bear.
Where is my token so that I can Click
over here.
athletics.
Oh, for reference, whenever that ever happens, you can just easily press C and you'll always pull up your character sheet.
Gotcha.
All right. 18. Let's see what she can do instead. I'm trying to. There we go. Here we go. All right, athletics. 24, not enough. As you sort of begin to start trying to force her back, you see as with this sort of thing, she's not able, or you're not able to sort of resist enough of it because she is using her wings and bits of her own strength as well, combined to be able to overpower you. As she does so, tossing you into this sort of tree and then immediately soaring off past towards the water, she begins to speak and say as she's almost choking the life out of you. Where are your wings now, Valkyrie? Come on, I've been waiting for this for so long. And with that, you see as we're gonna go on a different map, buddy.
Ooh, excellent.
But what are you saying or doing in the meantime while this is sort of going on?
Well, as soon as she would say, "Where are your wings?" She remembers what Yahi and Elowin said about like, where doesn't she have wings yet or whatever, and she would just be like, "Bitch, please," and her eyes would start glowing icy blue. The V on her forehead and the 3 lines on her chin would start fucking glowing, and whatever memories, whatever willpower, sheer force of personality, she's gonna try to manifest those fucking wings. She's gonna wreck this bitch.
All right, if that's the case, oh boy. Graz, make your highest saving throw. Let's see what you can do, Valkyrie.
Woo. There we go!
Oh shit!
That is my bear.
Where are my
what we
wings?
like to see.
Where are my wings, Fury? This is where my fucking wings are.
With that, as you begin to do so, eventually you see as the blazing radiance and the heat of the Fury begins to slowly start burning towards you. Your eyes begin to glow and you begin to notice as the bits of ice begins to form around you and almost spectral wings begin to start trying to manifest as much as they possibly can. It's almost, they're not necessarily fully out, but they're trying to force their way out of sheer will, using all the bits of memories as a catalyst. As this is sort of happening, you immediately begin to start turning and tossing, trying to strike and claw at this woman. But as she does so, you all are sort of tossing and tumbling before she just slams you into a rock over off to the side. As we're gonna go here. Oh boy. All right, we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that. So I need one other check from you, Graz, and I need an athletics check. Also, I meant to be doing this, so you succeeded and then you failed there and then you failed here, but she failed this one time. All right, so I'm going to be rolling damage. So you're going to take a total of, I believe that's 2d10, and she will take 1d10 of damage. So 8 points of bludgeoning damage towards you, Graz, and she's going to take a d10. And that's 6 points of bludgeoning damage to her as she strikes you directly into the wall. With that, I'm gonna need you to roll for initiative, my friend. It's time.
Let's go.
All right, here we go. Timer is set. Got until this. You got it. All right, roll for initiative, buddy, and we'll see what happens. 19, 22. Okay, she's going to be going first unless you're using anything to make her re-roll. Choice is yours.
No.
All right, you got it. As this is sort of going on, let me try to do this. Gotcha. So, with that, looking over, she'll begin to just start wringing out the legs of the whip and immediately just sort of tossing you over towards the rock before trying to wrap the whip around your neck and just sort of snap it with one single flourish. First off, she is going to use the rope of entanglement. And she is going to use this for some of her attacks. First attack's gonna go to you. Let's see. Did it actually roll an attack roll? I don't think it did. That's fine. I can... Oh, my bad. Instead, I need you to make a strength saving throw. Yes. Or, excuse me, not strength. Dexterity saving throw. Dexterity saving.
Dex again. Bane of my existence.
It's not an attack roll, that's why. 15. Is that the final roll?
Yes.
That is going to be a fail. You are considered restrained as the rope begins to wrap around you. As she does so, she'll toss you off to the side and immediately just, again, using her wings to sort of use a little bit more force. She's gonna just try to stab directly into you as you begin to collide with the rocks over off to the side. With that, she's going to make an attack roll with advantage because you are restrained. All right, long sword. That is a 25 to hit, 12 points of damage as the blade just tries to plunge itself through your armor. You have to try to almost grab the blade or sort of toss it off to the side as much as you can, but the blood is now beginning to pour. That is her second attack. She still has a third attack for her long sword. All right, final strike. And that is a natural 20 for 20 points of damage. Go ahead.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I would like... No, it's not. I would like to use my runic shield when a creature you can see within 60 feet of you. Shit, no, hold on. I'm hit by yes. When a creature you can see within 60 feet of you is hit by an attack roll, you can use your reaction to force the attacker to re-roll the d20 and use the new roll.
You got it. All right, they're gonna re-roll the d20. I believe it's just gonna be one straight thing. So long sword, 13. That I believe is not going to hit. How do you deflect this strike, Gross?
She, as she's going, Groz is like knocked into the ground. She's bloodied. She's like, dude, what the fuck? Completely taken by surprise. But she's pissed, and she looks at her, and the fury, I imagine, is just full of rage and not trying to hide what she's doing. So Groz sees the movement of where the blade is going to strike, and she just like launches herself forward, you know, a little bit recklessly, but just like goes like underneath the blade and kind of like knocks her to the side, making her miss.
As you do, you see she just sort of plunges the sword into the rocks, and she's stuck there for a moment. You are restrained right now, but Graz, it is now your turn, if you wish. All right, let's go. Let me switch. Oh, I didn't begin the combat, my bad. There we go. Go for it, Graz.
All right, first, I would like to utilize...
Okay, there is one thing. Okay, I forgot about this. I thought it would be added to it. You actually do take an extra 3d8 poison damage from their hellish weapons, apparently. My bad. All right, I thought it was included, but apparently it wasn't. All right, I'll just add that to you. But you're not resistant to poison, are you?
Not right now, no.
Okay, got you.
I can with another rune, but...
Yeah.
All right, so... As a bonus action, Graz invokes Giant's Might, which gives me advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws, and once on each of my turns, I get an extra d6 to a target upon the hit. Also, if you're smaller than large, you become large. So with that, Graz's runes glow, and they start snaking down her body in like vaguely like slightly angelic patterns. They're starting to slowly go like down her arms, down her legs, over her chest, just glowing with like bluish icy divine light. And then she gives an extremely loud roar. And is it a strength saving throw to break out of the whippy thingy?
I will check. I believe you should be able to do so.
Rope entanglement, yes.
Got you. Go for it.
Okay, so with that I get advantage, and that's one more time, alt.
Strength or dex. Yes, it's alt. 23, that will definitely break out of it. As you do, immediately the ropes begin to almost snap for a moment as she begins to pull back. As you grow larger in size, you see as she is immediately tossed backwards as she begins to sort of fly for a moment. You're still kind of lodged in the rocks, but that is your bonus action, right?
That's my bonus action, yes.
Gotcha.
Is me breaking out of the whip an action?
I can check. I mean, I can probably, for flavor, I'll just allow it as like a bonus, a part of your bonus action. Go crazy.
Cool. Oh my gosh, she's so big now. Great. Graz would like to just come on in and attack this lady really fucking hard.
Go for it.
All right, come on now. Let's go. All right, so she goes in with a strike with her Naginata.
16, it's not gonna do it. She just parries it off to the side. Try again.
Okay.
19. That'll beat her AC just barely. What does the strike look like?
She swings she doesn't have her footing quite yet, so she takes the swings and miss, and the Fury says try again, and Graz looks her dead in the eye and says, okay, and then goes for more of like a piercing stab, like right through like the side of her stomach or something like that.
You got it.
Yeah, and then I would like to action surge, and I would like to do that again.
Let's go. Go for it. 2 more attacks. 16. At this point, you guys are just battling, but the strikes are sort of flying every which way. Second strike, 17. That's not gonna do it either. This time, you're able to hit her, but it's more so the armor begins to start burning a bit of your ice away from the Naginata. Not able to do enough damage as steam begins to form up in the air. But now, they're both bloody, and now the battle truly begins. All right, Groz, is that your turn?
That's my turn.
All right, with that, she'll look over for a moment, and as she does so, she'll begin to start backing up a little bit, and it's just starting to send multiple excuse me, hold on, make sure I got this right. Yep, she's gonna start sheathing the legs of the sword and the rope and starts flying and sending multiple arrows over towards you. You do get an attack of opportunity. She begins to fly back a little bit. Oh wait, no, you used your turn, so yeah, you still have an attack of opportunity. You want to use it?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. 25, that will hit for 11 points of damage as you're able to leave her with the reminder. She backs up for a moment and sending 3 arrows towards you. Just a volley almost over towards the rocks. And we'll see what happens. First one's a 20. That'll be 8 points of damage plus an extra. Here, I'll do the extra bits of damage afterwards. Second one's a 17. I think that misses, right?
Yes, 17 miss.
Got you. Next one is a 21. What about that one? Yeah, that
21 does hit.
Got you. So that's going to be a total of, I think, an extra 6d8 poison damage as the arrows are striking into you. You can feel the bits of poison coursing amongst your veins as you take an extra 19 points. But you're still okay for now. But you do see as the blood is sort of beginning to slowly start turning this strange purple for a moment. And with that, she begins to sit over here. And you see as she begins to almost draw a line, inviting you for a final battle and a duel to the death. And with that, she'll end her turn over here. All right, Groz, you're up.
All right, Groz is just going to, she drew that line in the sand. Groz is going to just fucking storm towards her and just run, fucking take her Naginata, take a big old swing upside her head. No, she's not. Hold on.
Chat, where's the inspo? Goddamn!
Where's the inspo? Yo?
Being stingy. Got anything for it or not?
I don't think I do.
Nah.
Nope. I do not. Well, tell me how I fail.
Well, as you sort of do, you still got one attack, but you strike over towards her, and immediately as you just barely get to this area, she steps onto the legs of the blade, and you see as she does so, it begins to almost ignite in this flaming ring of fire. For a moment as well, this thing happens. Let me move this, and aha. If I can, there we go. As you begin to look over, as you guys are almost engulfed in this sort of ring for a moment, you see as a bit of your backside over off to the side, it seems to be almost burning and searing from the hot flames, but that is what happens for your nat 1. You do have a second attack though.
I do. All right. So I'm going to do attack number 2.
You got an inspo from chat, by the way.
Thank you, chat.
24,
also,
that will hit for 16 points of damage as this one actually strikes into her. Go ahead and describe what this looks like.
Also, it also adds my D2 from the or D6 from Giant Smite that I forgot last turn.
If you want to add that from the last turn as well, that's fine.
That would be very helpful for my super low HP and this bitch who I barely hurt.
All right, hold on. Let's see. 60 plus 8. Whew. With that, as this point in time, you strike over towards her, almost sending her flying for a moment as she begins to start tumbling amongst the ground. Is that your turn, Groz?
I'm going to use Second Wind to try to get some. There we go. 15 HP back.
You're back at it. With that, you see as this sort of battle between fire and ice is sort of forming for a moment, and as she begins to start circling around, that is your bonus action. That is your action. I believe that is you, correct?
I believe that is it, yes.
All right, last thing, round 3. As she begins to look over for a moment, she begins to start circling the area, knowing to try to not leave your sort of range and almost trying to push you towards the fire. As she does so, she begins to drop the bow for a moment and bring out the likes of the sword for one final clash. With that, all right, she is now going to do this. Hey, Graz, now we're waiting for it. She's gonna clash you.
Ooh, okay. Bring it.
And that will be her action as she begins to look over. And you see as in the distance, there are multiple individuals flying over towards you. You see as there are these massive armored individuals riding atop of winged lions approaching. You see, and you can probably assume that these are the guards of Bayani getting ready to put a stop to this soon. Realizing this, Pandora begins to look over. I'll kill you before they even get here. And with that, she is going to just send the legs of the sword straight for a kill shot directly towards your throat and try to rip it out. With that, that will be her attack roll. Let's see what she gets. 20 is what you have to beat. I'm taking away the damage, but Gross, describe your attack and what this looks like to try to defend yourself.
Ooh, should I roll first before that?
Always describe first.
All right.
What you're trying to do, you know?
Yeah. So she again is just like telegraphing her action. She is not trying to hold back. And Graz she sees the figures coming and she's like, whether I win this or not doesn't matter. I gotta show this bitch like I am not going to back down from this, whatever happens. So she'll take her Naginata and from kind of like studying Azura's fighting style over the break, she will kind of like try to focus and get that expert swordswoman focus going on, try to look for an opening, try to look for her most vulnerable spot, be it like between the armor or like an exposed patch of flesh, whatever it is, and find that weak spot and try to target that.
You got it. All right, let's see if all that training was put to good use. Attack roll.
Try.
17.
I would like to use my inspiration.
All right, as you look over, you see the 12. No. Unlucky.
Can I?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Question. Could I use my? Because I don't know if it applies for the clash. Could I use my runic shield feature to make her re-roll her attack?
Do you have? Is it a reaction, and do you have a use
it's a reaction.
of it? If it is a reaction, you can.
Okay, I would like her to re-roll that 20.
All right, so we're gonna take that 17. So it's 20 versus 17. She needs to roll lower than that 20, and you will succeed. As you begin to use the runic shielding for a moment, it begins to form over for you. We'll see what happens. And that's gonna be attack, long sword. That's a 14.
Yes!
With that, as the runic shielding begins to form over towards you, you're able to just immediately send her blade a little bit off to the left. And as you strike into her, you see as she begins to sort of cough up the bits of blood onto the ground, staggering for a moment. Fuck. She begins to just immediately engulf herself with more and more fiery rage before she just looks over at you. Fine. Well struck. But how about this? And she's just going to almost tackle you, wings flying forth, and she's going to just send you flying back towards the legs of the island as she does so. But regardless, you still look over at her and you notice as there's a massive sort of scar going and stretching across her entire face as she's bleeding profusely. And as this happens, you begin to start flying over almost again, battling through the likes of the rocks and more before eventually return back over here for a moment. Give me 2 seconds and get you over here. All right, bam, and where are you, Gross? All right, here, I'll just drag over here. And bam. All right, you guys should be loading in the map now. As you look over, you see immediately they just crash directly down towards the bridge and more. And within only about 10 seconds, you notice as multiple sort of winged individuals are beginning to soar over, and you see as they're clad in armor and they have all of their weapons directed over towards you, Graz, and towards Pandora, as you see these individuals begin to emerge. All right. I think if I showed this one, actually, it'll show the whole art. Yep, there we go. As this is said and done, you see as about 4 of them in particular begin to arrive for a moment. And as this is sort of going on, you look over, and what are the rest of you sort of doing as you see they finally begin to sort of come back, and all of these individuals are sort of surrounding here?
Yeah.
Not even questioning.
Yeah, there's no questions about this.
Fair enough. Fair
Would
enough.
would they if we're running towards Graz, would they seem like they're trying to stop us, or?
In a way, it's more of like they get it, they understand, but they're also like, hey man, like we're trying to control the situation, so they like let you within a reasonable distance, but they're not like letting you just straight up walk in and like deck somebody, right? You know? But as this is sort of happening, this is the same song and dance as you look over, as you all begin to start rushing over to kind of see exactly or try to get a hold of the situation and be at the ready for your own ally and comrade. She isn't alone either. As you look over and you see as an individual begins to sort of start flapping their wings before they say, "Stop this nonsense! Pandora, get a hold of yourself!" And you'll see as stepping down sort of from their orb, pretty much from the bits of the sky, see as another individual begin to start forming, another Fury. As you see, she begins to step over. They both begin to look over towards one another for a moment. They look over towards the guards. The guards are easily trying to keep her back along with you guys and such, but as they do, Pandora will look over. She's bleeding, so is Graz. We'll finish this later. Sort of coughs and spits up a bit more blood on the ground before she'll let the wings begin to start bamfing back, and she'll call off the flames for now. With that, look over, and eventually, Graz, do you do the same?
Graz will, like, as soon as they got back to like the mainland, like Graz is still like holding up her weapon, but clearly in a defensive way. Like she's not making any moves. Like as soon as she saw, like tried to make it clear, hey, I still gotta watch out for this person, so I'm not putting down my weapon, but like I am not the problem here. I didn't fucking start this. So as soon as she puts down the fire, Graz will not move backwards. She will keep her weapon in front of her and say, like loudly to the guards, I didn't start this fight. I'm not going to back away first. You need to get her to move.
Look over. And as this is sort of said, Graz, no real persuasion check needed. They'll look over, they kind of witness the whole sort of thing anyways. And as they do, one individual will begin to speak. You can't even really see their face, but I'll say, fine. We understand. But as the rules, at least, or tradition has been said, no fighting outside the tournament. If you want blood, you spill it in the arena.
Graz looks down at Pandora and says, do you hear her?
Looks over and kind of gives you like a, she's not flicking you off, but mentally she's flicking you off right now.
I know.
So look, the Ashen Riders will look over and begin to say, if you have any quarrels, you spill it in the arena, and if you do not comply, then you and all of the Furies will be banished from the tournament for good. Are we clear? You'll see as Kaliana seems to be more so a leader-esque individual. Crystal, aren't we? See as Pandora will nod for a moment before just sort of almost pushing you off to the side or trying to, again, your sort of stature is strong, especially with the fucking giant's might, so you don't really feel it too much, you know? But eventually we'll almost start storming off for a bit. But one thing of note, you'll see as they'll begin to start watching her, but they don't necessarily like arrest them or anything like that. They'll look over and say, you two are in the duos, right? Any sort of, any sort of altercations like this, and you and Kaliana will be banished, as before. Get out of here, now. See as they begin to sort of spit off a little bit more blood. They begin to start flapping their wings. Go ahead.
Wait.
Go ahead.
I'll scream, yeah, just wait. Pandora, was it? Just walking, like, ignoring those guards. Participating in the tournament.
What?
There's no need to be so noisy. You have beef with Graz? We will face you. Be our opponent.
We won't be your opponents. We will be the victors as we put you into the ground.
That sounds like you're going to be their opponent.
He will just give her the eye, like, you know, the murderer eye, like, just staring at her and just, I'd like to see you try. As he summons the Sage Blade in the other hand. Not doing anything, he's not gonna attack, just summons it and like... You and your friend, against me and Graz. First round of the tournament.
Look over.
I trust you will not cower away.
I hope you know how to wield that weapon. With that, they'll nod. We'll be there. Before, simple as that. No more words. The bout has been set. They'll begin to look over and they will fly off as a couple of but right before the sort of Ashen Warriors begin to try to like start separating you guys, you know? But as they do, Furies will begin to vanish. With that, look over and even if you were trying to play it low key, you definitely have a couple of eyes on you for better, but also for worse. But
Yep.
People may know to at least have an eye out on you guys.
Just exactly what Graz told the entire group not to do. Don't draw attention to yourself. That's how it goes. Graz would...
Just...
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry.
You guys then like Graz and Yato. I don't fucking know who you guys are.
Graz would sheath her weapon and look to the guards and say, I apologize, you won't have any problems from me, but if anyone attacks me, I will defend myself. But you have my word, I will not start any fights outside of the arena, nor will anyone in my group.
Well, I'm not entirely sure exactly what you did or who you are yet, but because I don't, you need to sign up and such. Get that squared away as soon as possible. We can arrange at least this for the time being. I can, or at least for this sort of bout, but no more. If you wish to fight them in the first round, then you best hurry to get to said signups. All right.
Well, thank you.
With that,
And as Graz turns away from the guard who's walking away, she will unsheath her Frostbrand Naginata and look at Yahato and then look at the weapon and say, if it hadn't been for this, if it hadn't been for this weapon that War Chief Agni made, I don't think that would have ended very well. I'm glad I had this. You have your Sage Blade, but the craftsmanship on this. And she'll fondly resheath it. She said that very loudly so that as many people as possible would hear. And then she'd walk back to the group.
Well, so much for not drawing attention to us. Yes, you did the exact opposite, Captain. But hey,
the next time that somebody
Good
comes
for
up
you.
to you and slams down into you and slams you into a rock, you tell me that you're just gonna sit there and be peaceful.
oh no, don't get me wrong. That was amazing. 10 out of 10.
Well, seems to be the tournament's still as lively as fucking ever. Shit. Alright, well. You alright? All good? Looking towards everybody, looking towards Graz, Yato, all that, blah, blah, blah.
Alright,
Yep.
now that we are the stars of this show, let's go sign up.
I'll see as they kind of look over towards you, and you do see as you do get a couple of sort of nods and such, like, hey, you didn't die. Not everybody was able to necessarily see it, but hey, Algerone, let's look over towards you all as you kind of are walking in unison, clock that, and you'll see as a couple of people would definitely be sort of giving you your props, you know. But-
Roz doesn't try to wipe off any of the blood on her.
All right. Alright, so
Yeah, to
eventually,
cast prestidigitation. Like, I get it,
Shit,
girl,
no.
but
No, absolutely
to
not.
look
She's smacking
presentable.
the way.
signing up, Graz. We need to look presentable.
Okay.
look over and you'll see as the keepers are sort of looking on at you all as you guys begin to start walking over for a bit. Eventually, a couple of these sort of NPCs basically will start leaving you guys off to your own sort of devices, right? But Keeper Camino, the Forbidden Expanse Keeper, will begin to speak and say, interesting show, especially so early on. Keeper Raya, the keeper of the Jaded Dragon Valley, will look over and say, always intense as usual, these tournaments, but ever so exciting. Oh, also, and they'll look over towards Resnick, and they'll definitely sort of nod and sort of they'll give you a sort of little wave of sort of acknowledgement, you know?
Resnick will do the same back.
Keeper Cass will begin to speak and say, but you all are alive and well. Expect more thing or occurrences like that. I'll at least inform you of that. But are you all ready to get going?
Yep.
Sure.
Yep.
Very well. Raya, Camino, we will be able to catch back up very soon, if you will. Have to handle a couple of things, and we can reconvene probably at the Cloud Top Garden or something. I don't know. Whenever we find the time. Well, see as those two will begin to nod. They'll nod towards their brother and begin to head off to the side. But before so, Keeper Raya will begin to speak over towards Resnick and say, Resnick, if you will. You, I sort of overheard it mainly through, well, your mark and such. That's how we sort of, are able to sort of communicate with you guys at your beckoning call. But, you were mentioning that you were looking for my folk, the Voden Knights, correct?
Yes, I wish to talk to them for a little bit, just to get an understanding of the situation so far.
Yes, you would probably be able to find them, they split off a bit, but, you'd be able to find them probably at either the Red Devil Inn or the Slithering Serpent Inn. One or the
Got it.
other, depending on whichever ones you want to find.
Okay. Thank you.
Of course. So just she'll nod and basically get out of your way. With that, Keeper Cass will begin to start walking through the portal and take you guys to where you need to be. I assume you guys all follow through?
Yep.
All right. With that, you look over, and one thing of note, Anth, make a perception check before you start heading into this little portal.
If you see another Fury, you need to tell me right away, I swear to God.
Hey, I tried to, give you a warning. Or more so use you as cover maybe, but sure, anyway.
Just something that you sort of clock. Just leave it as a seed in your head. You do hear as this individual is very, very loud and boisterous on this mammoth, this Goliath of the sorcerer, saying, "Oh my goodness! I think I was able to capture a bit of the pieces, but oh my gosh, fire versus ice, that was amazing!" Here, if anybody wants a couple of the drawings, I do have a couple. I'll be able to sort of copy them and such. So here, not too much. You were an audience member, so here I will only sell it for about 4 gold, and such. But you can tell that this individual off to the side is apparently an artist, and they're offering their works. Just something for you to clock.
Say something. Say something. Say something. Say something.
Well, no,
say
he doesn't
something.
have to. This is just like, you can come back to this if whoever feels like it.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I assume everybody hears that, like if they're loud or if they are listening to their surroundings.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
like, mainly just for more so you, because you were able to sort of pick it out while everybody else is probably, I assume, like more focused on getting into the portal, getting to where they need to be,
okay.
you know?
Yeah, it's we'll definitely keep that in mind, but not exactly the most interested in this very specific situation.
All right, all good. So eventually, as you guys begin to head through the portal, some of you begrudgingly, you eventually begin to head over towards or you find yourselves actually at the, well, actually, yeah, you'd find yourselves at the docks of the sorts, and you look over, and this is what you would notice. All right, activate. Is there anybody else that would be here? I don't think so. No, they would still be over there realistically because they're hanging out. These guys, yeah, they're gone with VK. So move you all over here. This is a giant ass map, my friends. So prepare thyselves. But whenever you do load in, you are at the very, very tippy top of the map with Keeper Cast. Just know that. Cool. In the meantime, you can look over at my screen and such. But as you guys sort of do, Keeper Cast will look over and say, check-ins are towards the south and such. There are a couple of individuals and more that you might be able to speak with beforehand. But the choice is yours. You have until, from what I understand, until the next night to sort of get this sort of squared away. So you don't have to check in immediately, but if you want to get it over with, by all means, go for it.
Let's just get it over with and then we can socialize.
Yeah. I'm down.
Alright, well, I don't know if the map is loaded in for you guys, but you guys are free to explore as you wish. I'll just tell you if you guys see anything of interest on the way there. I guess first things of note, you would see as a bunch of the Ishtarans are basically now here. You notice as they're... God damn it. You do notice as a couple of individuals, specifically a couple of the jaded journeymen and women, are kind of looking over. They'll nod at your sort of presence, let you sort of pass on by. But you do notice as a couple of these Samadans are also here as well. You definitely know of them. You've seen them through the red triangle marks. Nothing super use unless you want to speak to any of them. You do recognize Amir and Inquisitor and such, but continue on. Looking ahead, and again, you guys just still move. And just remember, like, Dre, Axel, and Rashid, they're like falling by you, but I'm not going to worry about their tokens right now. You do notice as more of the Kalani Council, or not council members, but more so the Kalani individuals themselves are also here. They will look over at you, judge you for everything that you're worth, probably tell you that you're poor in some way, shape, or form, and that you're broke, but they let you pass eventually. Last things of note, you do notice as there are a couple of more of the Velkin and such, and you see as there's a heavy concentration of the Velkin specifically around here. You look over, and at this point, you'll see as they're actually sort of clearing the entire area for a moment, and you see as they're almost in a sort of saluting fashion for a moment. Are you guys passing by, or are you staying over here?
I think Roz would slow down at the very least, seeing her people.
Fair enough, fair enough.
It's gonna be very hard to just walk past this. Just
Then say something, bro. We're waiting for you. That's why we're
yeah,
slowing
no.
down.
Jin, we all stopped here. We're waiting
Do
for you to
your
say
thing.
a word.
I was just waiting. I was
You
just
gotta
waiting.
speak up, bro. Speak up.
Dredd's like, is it my turn? Is it me?
No, it's not about my turn or not. It's about, do I recognize this individual?
Well, you look over at them and make your highest saving throw.
Figured. All right, here we go. Yeah, that's definitely gonna be a charisma save. Just don't fucking roll with that one. Yeah, how about a 30?
Why not?
Fucking
Why not?
paladins, man. Oh, I love paladin. So with a 30, yeah, you recognize them, you remember them. You remember, or as a brief flashback begins to occur, as you look over, and anytime you've seen that sort of minotaur of the sort, so like 90% of the time or so, you remember that they always had their, right-hand individuals by their side, but this individual was always one of them, especially when it came to sort of politics or anything of the sorts. They were always there alongside them. Or, as I said, you don't maybe necessarily remember their sort of name and such. And for that, Sammy, I would have to ask you, because my notes got fucking deleted and I'm very, very upset. So I've been trying to remember this guy's name for the life of me or whatever, even though the whole campaign was about them. Sorry, but you do recognize this individual as the Astral King's advisor, for sure.
Yes, I'm going through my notes right now, and I will ping you as soon as I have his name.
Thank you. While this is sort of happening, you'll see as they're saying, "All right, clear off, come on. Make way for the king, make way for the king." You'll see as he begins to do so, and look over. They'll kind of look over towards you all for a moment, and they're kind of jumpy for a second as they look at you. All right. Clear off. Astral King's making their way. No sort of lollygagging and such. And bystanders. Kind of look and stare at all for a little bit too long. Then just sort of shake their head. No.
I'm gonna.
Thanks, Sam.
I'm gonna take just a step forward, but I heard him say make way for the king, so I'm gonna wait for the king to show up before, as to try not to stop that king from coming out. I don't know who the hell I am yet, so.
Fair enough.
Because if it's the dude that I recognize, if it's a dude that I recognize from a previous vision, it's gonna change things. So.
As you do so, you look over and you see an individual stepping out from this massive boat. Now, I can only do so much with the tokens and all that stuff without making the map like load a horrendous amount of time. But this ship would be a lot bigger than the other ones, and it is, when I mean massive, like it's the equivalent of a fantasy yacht. Like, it's ridiculous in size, Looking over towards them, they begin to sort of step down. Won't add their tokens, but they step down with a couple of hand-picked warriors at their side. And as they do so, you look over, and the individual, almost dressed in like a mixture of a pirate sort of attire and that of a sort of almost Viking jarl attire as well. Their beard braided and more white hair sort of at the tuft, and more so golden sort of ends at their beard. You notice as, funny enough, with a massive astral scar going right down their eye and all the way through their body and more. You look over and you see it, and funny enough, almost as if it's fate, it's the same side as Ulf's, where he's missing his eye. Same scar and more. A minotaur begins to step down onto off of the ship. And as they do, they carry a sort of almost intimidating and fearful aura. All the bits of sort of, antics, shenanigans, or bits of more so like loosely uncoordinatedness from every one of the Velkin kind of doing their own thing. It all ceases and stops as soon as the Astral King makes their arrival. As you see, well, thank you, Madra. This individual begin to arrive, returning to the Auroraverse after a long last. It'll load in a bit. I know it's a that thing
It'll
is a
load
chunker.
in a bit.
Sensei, you could just
8K picture.
Sensei, you could just pan your camera up, couldn't you?
I could, but you won't really be able to see it, and I'm scared to sort of. You'll see in a minute. Gee, you could fucking post the goddamn picture if you need to, but
There it is.
Stream sees it regardless. They are not that small. Bam. All right, cool. You look over, and as they do, or as they step down, I look towards each and every one of them and begin to say, all right. I thought we were going to be on that vessel forever. Sort of cracks their neck for a moment, and you see as they have this massive sort of belt amongst them, a belt of giants of the sorts. I would say, got any arcane people? Yahato, and I would say, yeah, you're probably the best suited for it. Make an Arcana check for me, please. Alright.
God damn, he's smart.
19, good stuff. You look over and you see the belt that's amongst them is sort of crackling with a bit of lightning. You've seen or heard stories of it, but to see it almost here and now is almost insane. Almost a legendary artifact is what they wield, as you see them wielding a Storm Giant's belt of strength. This motherfucker has 29 strength right now.
Holy shit.
Hey.
You look over, and as they kind of look about, they'll begin to start walking and such. Bodvar, are we good to continue and such? The warriors are still preparing and all that, but you could at least get them checked in, if you will. Look over for a minute, and as they kind of look over towards Bodvar, they look over past them.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Is this the same guy that I had the vision of previously?
It is, but I don't know why you always
All right.
You thought they were blue, but you look over and you realize that one thing's not right before you do so. One thing's not right. One, they're not blue. The reason where you got that from is something was blue on their hand originally.
Mm-hmm.
But you look over as they sort of wave towards all of the sort of Velkin and such. You see on their hand, ingrained into it, is a purple square blazing upon it. Now, out of game for context and clarity, you remember eventually at one point, maybe not you, Ulf, because I don't think you were there, but Oya never had a mark originally and all that sort of stuff, and eventually she randomly gained a blue mark and such. It has something to do with that sort of whole thing or whatever, right? It's just for like the little bit of clarity for that little bit of context.
Marks, I also know as I've swapped marks more than once. You can swap marks, so
exactly.
it's not going to be like a game breaker for me by any means.
Nah, not at all. So, the look over and do you say anything first or go?
Yeah, it's about to be a cowabunga moment. All right, so yep, I'm actually gonna.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Sammy.
Sensei, would I roll my highest saving throw? Seeing this guy?
Yep, you know it.
Excellent.
Well, technically, before all right, never mind.
Well, no, go ahead. We can.
No,
we
you
can
already
wait.
passed either way, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
I was gonna say, but the first time you saw them, I was actually standing within 10 feet, so you get the bonus. But you don't need it.
21. You remember seeing this individual in the likes of a small hall, I would say, surrounded by a bunch of other wacky, wonderful individuals. You see as they were sort of talking to you, but you were goddamn small compared to how you are now. Look over and they begin to refer to you as Gungle. Give you a warm smile, but you see as they begin to rally all of the Vulcan for the tournament ahead. But Graz, you begin to regain these memories as your soul begin to start intertwining for a moment. Go ahead, Ulf.
You said that I had recognized Bodvar earlier, so
Recognize
and
both
I'm
these
definitely
individuals, yeah.
and now I'm definitely recognizing the Astral King, so aka Captain Fable. So Ulf is actually going to kind of walk up behind, not even trying to be quiet, actually trying to make a little bit more noise, so that I don't try to scare Bodvar, right? And like, as he goes to somewhat kind of reach for him and just trying to get his attention.
As he looks over, looks at you for a moment.
Bodvar.
How
Just...
He's alive. You'll see as Fable finishes the sentence. And you kind of see as he sort of like laughs, it begins to echo and bellow across the entirety of it. He sort of walks over for a moment and says, coming back with a shield and a sort of wolf or whatever. I didn't think you were so literal. What the fuck?
I'll take another step forward.
How? He will look over for a moment and, without saying a word, he's going to extend a hand to you, Ulf. Unmarked hand, because he's smart enough to realize that.
All right. He's gonna take it. Since there's so many people around, learning from Ant about, not just giving away everything previously. He's gonna definitely take his hand. I believe we may have some things to discuss.
That we do. Look over towards you, and they're kind of like looking down across your form, just seeing how much you've sort of changed in general. Looking towards the armor, looking towards the shield, the eye patch, all of it. Holy shit. You're a completely different being. Now that is a tale that I would like to learn about. Look over towards you and look towards Zappy. Say, hello, little one. Ruff. Glad to see you. Didn't think that you would find each other, but didn't think that you were alive. Say.
Yeah. Seems you may have me at a bit of a disadvantage, but I have questions of my own. If you would do me the honor.
Fable will look towards Bodvar and say, Bodvar, sign-ups might need to wait for a bit. We have time. Do not fret. This is something a bit more important than just a tournament and such. Or at least the time being. Come with me. It looks over towards you, Ulf, and says, lot behind you. Are they with you?
He's gonna turn around. Yes, they are.
Looks over. Very well. Make an insight check for me. I guess anybody, yeah. Everybody who wishes, you can make an insight check.
I have advantage on inside checks.
Alright, and then I gotta do this for Fader. Yep. God damn.
It's still fitting that all girls. Oh, okay. Maybe other than Captain Fable.
Fair enough. All right, he's good at that shit. Yeah.
Apparently.
I look over and that's the easy or the closest check to make towards it. That's it. Nothing. Again, I'd say maybe with like who got the highest. Ulf. All right.
I did. Yeah.
He is cautious. We'll just put it at that. Very cautious. You can at least get a sense of that with a 22.
So, in game, I think Ulf would probably, because he has no idea, he probably would recommend that his team go sign up, knowing that he's already signed up and wants to kind of have a little bit of a private conversation out of game. I know Sammy is going to be dying to know some shit.
Out of game, you're not signed. Out of game, you're still not signed up. They're more so expecting you. That's it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I thought Azura already signed us up.
Nah.
Okay.
I gotta actually have you there, so nah, you're good. Also, out of game, like you guys will have plenty. You guys will have plenty of time. Like it's really up to whichever one you want to do. If you guys want to go sign up first, or if you want to have this conversation first, you guys have plenty of time for both of them. And if you don't, then we just finish it next session.
I think this is a little bit more important to Ulf, but if people want to go sign up, I get it.
Now let's do this. We can sign up anytime. We can't always talk to the Astral King.
You guys are here. You just gotta walk outside and go to it, right?
Yeah. This is probably the most important thing. Like, even if you guys went to go sign off, I'm pretty sure Ulf is planted until he gets some answers. For more than one thing, actually. On a side note, actually, since they're not here, you have both Rashid and Drayaxel standing behind.
Oh yeah.
So does the Astral King do anything about Drayaxel?
Well, first off, there is I'm glad you sort of brought that up because some things would be of importance. One, Rashid will be here. Drayaxel will not. Drayaxel will and anybody looking for him could easily find him as he's sort of looking off to the side, kind of trying to Assassin's Creed blend in with the Kalani over here. Trying to keep his distance and keep out of eyesight of King Fable.
I wonder why.
Yeah. So that is that. But also, last thing. Well, Fable would probably look over towards Rashid and he'll probably mention him in a minute. But Anth, if you want to do something, go for it.
Yeah, I was thinking that Ant would definitely go up and sign up, and this would be a great window of opportunity for him to do his own thing. Of course, we don't need to do that like right now because it's a simple thing to do later, I think. But yeah, he would be off to do that, all that stuff.
Got you. I'm trying to think for something. Okay, here's what we'll do. I want everybody to be here for us so they can at least have the opportunity to interact with it if they want. Even if they don't have anything to say or do. So here's what I'll say. King Fable will look over and suggest, if you allow us a bit of time to prepare such a thing, or such a meeting, it'll only be a couple of minutes or so. And then we can converse to your heart's content. What say you?
Waited for answers. I can wait a little longer. It kind of grumbles that a little bit, like, okay, all right. Play cool.
Typical Vulcan attitude. I guess I can wait. All right, the king's asking me to fucking wait. All right.
So I still not. So during that time, here's what we'll say, Amp. While they're kind of like, quote unquote, getting ready and such, and like everybody's sort of waiting for all that to sort of happen, then Ant can kind of go off, do their own little thing for a little bit, however long that takes, slink on back like right as they're getting ready to sort of start and all that. Sound good? And then we're gonna role play that stuff, or unless you want to chalk it up to rolls, then we can easily do that, you know? But that's how it would, I'm imagining chronologically it'd happen.
Yeah, makes sense.
Cool. With that, does anybody at a certain point, you'd probably notice this Draxel is kind of like not being antisocial, but more so keeping their distance. Is anybody doing anything with that, or just letting them be?
Since he has nothing to do really with the Astral King besides noticing the purple square, Yaku just like walk up to him, not trying to not blow his cover, but also like, hey man, what's up? What's up? Why are you scared, bro?
Why are you scared? Let's just say me and the king or whatever ain't really got off on the best of terms, like I mentioned before. Probably not the happiest individual to see. Happiest individual to see myself, and I'm not entirely sure if it would be beneficial for the sort of group if we end up I end up accidentally starting an altercation of the past, especially in front of his crew, you know.
I take it from his mark. You guys were comrades before, right?
I wish we could say comrades, but due to how this mark in its nature, it wanted us as, well, dangerous enemies instead.
I see. So you're running away from your problems. Explains why the previous Soulbound failed.
Oh, shit.
Make a intimidation or persuasion check. Your choice.
Calling motherfuckers up.
More so, I'm trying to not start any more problems.
Well, avoiding them is not a really good way to solve them, but I understand. Well, that'll have to wait, but we can't have you be hidden here the entire time. You guys have a conversation that you need. It needs to happen.
I mean, look, you got the whole thing with Oaf over there. I mean, that's his thing. I'm not trying to sort of... I mean, if you will, I can sort of come in after the fact or whatever, but...
Yeah.
I can tell by just a little bit of time that man's persistent to all hell. He wants what he wants. Ain't gonna try to get in front of it, you know?
Yep. It can wait. We're staying here for a while.
Go over. So with that, that's all Draxel has to say. Ah, boy.
Staying here. Switch to Wolf.
Eventually, Bodvar would probably, Captain Fable would have been gone, like after, or heading pretty much back onto his ship, and such. Bodvar would eventually approach over to you all and say, all right, the Astral King will now see you. Please, make sure your hands and such are where we can see them at all times and no sudden movements. Though the king is powerful, we still don't take lightly to individuals and such, not too familiar in his presence. You understand, I assume?
How well do I actually know Valdvar? You said that I recognize him, but...
You recognize him, but it's more of like, Alright, imagine this, right? You know, you're a kid or whatever, you go hang out or whatever, you're playing with the guys, you got your best friend, right? And then you got, you know, that annoying little brother that always just wants to tag along or whatever. Like, you may know him, but you didn't really ever, like, talk to him and stuff like that. It's kind of like that equivalent. He's not necessarily an annoying brother. It's more so he's always just, like, a +1 to the Astral King that you never necessarily talked about. You just recognize his face constantly. You with me?
I get you.
He's definitely shown some bit of recognition towards you, but he's not, like... He's not sure if it's his jurisdiction to ask. And quite frankly, well, you can make I'll say with that insight check from earlier, you get the sense that he's actually a little bit scared of you for some reason. So,
all right, I'm not gonna push it. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna kind of go along with what he's asking. Let's put it that way.
Easy enough. So, 7 souls as you, I assume, begin to head down. You all begin to step onto the larger wooden ship, and as you do so, as you're led by Bodvar, your footsteps are echoing as you slowly move across and through the deck. It's a beautiful ship, great many intricate Viking designs carved into its wooden hull, and you also see as it's entwined with an astral aesthetic, seeming to sort of shimmer about. The astral aesthetic is in the form of just bits of like color choices and more, but also in some of the monsters kept here. Now, one thing about the Vulcan is they pride themselves on killing the corruption, and it seems to be that they've even held them here as trophies at their or for the corruption's demise. You can see crude carvings of them, and even some of the bits of corruption, like lesser beings, or even more so, individuals who are well restrained. That you have, again, like out of game, you don't have to worry about them at all, right? But as you sort of pass by them, eventually you look over and you step into this massive throne room. It seems to have bits of more and more of those Viking designs and statues that look directly towards you and almost pierce through your souls. It is quiet, but everything said here, everything done here begins to echo over and over and over again, almost as if it's a design choice. With that, eventually you step through, and here is where you arrive as the Astral King begins to take his seat, along with Bodvar. And up ahead, the last sort of things that you see, I'll change the map. Now, first off, this is what you notice. Second off, you look over and you notice as there are several other individuals who seem to be at the Astral King's side. You can definitely tell that these would be the equivalent of his warriors, like the Zhao dynasty and such. However, there is one thing of note. They do not look as healthy as their token art would suggest. In fact, you notice as they're clearly undead. Almost like reborn, if you will. They sit there almost ever vigilant, and they wait for any sort of command and call, any order from the Astral King. But you look over and they definitely seem well armed to the teeth. One of you can make a martial check. I'd probably say, Garage, you're probably the best one at it with a fighter. Make a wisdom check, and we're gonna add your proficiency bonus twice because your fighter modifier. 15 plus 8. Yeah, you're good. You look over at these individuals, and judging by them, each and every one of them, they're about as powerful as yourselves. They are the exact same level as you. So they are warriors who've seen enough, but now they have probably long passed, and they're only empowered by the little bit of undead divine will, or whatever the hell you want to call it, brewing inside them. So, as this happens, eventually the warriors will allow you to sort of step forth, but they won't allow you to step too close, if you will. So, choice is yours. 7 souls on what you say and or do. Move these guys over here.
I'm walking straight up, literally stopping at the base of the stairs right here.
Go ahead. Astral King, look over and say, so, you requested an audience with me. And you say you have questions. Well, we have much to cover and discuss. Let us start with why this new version of yourself has said questions. But first things first, what do you go by?
It's gonna kind of crack a smile a little bit. You can call me what you wish. Now he's fishing for a name.
Yeah, I get you. It's that sort of like,
He is using Ant's the shit that Ant just taught him to the fullest capability.
Oh boy, I don't want to roll this. Okay. Make a persuasion check. We'll start off with. We'll call it that. Make a persuasion check.
So this whole thing, I just wanna point out, like
Yes.
this whole conversation that's about to happen, I'm using it.
Yeah, I figured.
Oh yeah. No, this is the time for some actual lore and some information. We're 100% using the emissary.
Most persuasive man in Voden.
As it takes off, that's going to be a 19, so add 5 onto whatever this roll is. Holy shit! Oh, fuck my life.
Hey man.
Most persuasive man, my ass.
Oh.
When you get a nat 1, but you still get a 15 anyways.
Literally, no, I literally get a 20 on a nat 1. So I still got a 20. Let that be what you want.
So here's what I got
Successful
for you.
failure.
Here's what I got for you. It's in. All right. Here's what you get. They're looking at you, but this isn't a actually wanting to necessarily. They know your name. You get that sense, but they're trying to figure out what you call yourself as a safety precaution rather than anything, to see if they can trust you. Rather, this looking around it, all of the individuals are kind of armed to the teeth. Their hands have not left their weapons, and they're ready to strike each and every one of you down at the drop of a hat. So it's not necessarily like they just want to see if they can trust you and see what you know. Rather, does that make sense? You can still push for them to try to name drop it, but that's where they're sort of coming from.
What can I actually remember about this guy? Like, now that I'm actually specifically focused on him, trying to pull memories of him, because I also need to find out whether or not I trust this guy at all.
Sure. So,
because that's going to change how much information I'm willing to give or not.
You can always ask him, but what you remember from, I'm trying to remember from like the rest of the campaign. You remember that this individual was, he talked to you, about the day before, or maybe even a couple of days before, that all of your clan was killed. And you just remember there's a bunch of stars everywhere, astral stuff, and they were dead, and you woke up on that Oriol's throne. Remember that. This individual, you guys were fairly friendly with one another. You guys always talked about sort of strategies and sort of war things, but also from what you could tell, you were pretty good allies and comrades, maybe even friends, you know, maybe. But
all right, that's what I need to know then.
It's definitely not. It probably would have been a thing of you started off as like, this is just more so Ulf's assumption, right? To keep that in mind. You probably started off as business partners. You got along. It's like, you know what? Yeah, we're friends, I guess. You know, that kind of deal.
Fine. Even work friends are friends, and you can learn to. If you're saying that Ulf would have trusted him in another lifetime, then he's going to trust him now, and that's how I'm going to play this.
Go for it.
All right. I've taken the name Ulf for now.
Oh.
Which you should recognize as Wolf.
Yeah. I see. Sort of chuckles to himself. Very well. Oh. So, if that is what you go by now, what questions is it that you seek answers to?
I'm gonna look him dead in the eye. I don't remember anything.
Nothing. Not at all.
Nothing.
Well,
I remember you. I remember Bodvar.
well, makes two of us, but so is Voden. Such is Voden. Now, I'll look over at each of you and say, you see, there is, I remember you, and quite well. Or at least, a past you. One that doesn't necessarily look like you, but I can tell it is yourself. However, one thing that I know of this individual from a past life is that they always had a plan. They always were prepared to some degree. But I also
he's gonna see him smirk just slightly. He's not even gonna try to hide it.
But I also know this individual not to be weak, per se. And you'll see as I start sort of whistling for a moment, and you'll look over at the ox of a woman beginning to start dragging the legs of their weapon, beginning to unsheath it for a second. You look over towards the other individual as they begin to start wielding the legs of their scimitar and shield for a moment, and begin to start stepping forth. You notice as the other individual begins to start putting their hood on for a moment and saying, well, you aren't weak now, are you? And you'll see as they begin to start circling you for
I have a question before they even move. As soon as he says it. You said earlier that I could tell that magic was keeping these guys alive, yes?
It was more so like undead necromancy, right?
Still magic.
Still magic.
Got that. I got that question. You know where I'm going with this.
Oh, I know. I am very fully aware.
All right. They're coming towards me?
They are coming towards you.
I'm just gonna look. I'm gonna look back up at the Astral King. Don't make me do this.
You've done worse.
All right, I'm gonna let him get closer.
As they do, you'll see as everything's fine and dandy until as they're sort of stepping back or stepping over, and this individual, they're going to try their best. They will begin to disappear, and eventually, all of you guys can roll perception checks for me, please. This is with sight. You probably wouldn't be able to smell them, girls, because you haven't been close enough to them yet.
Okay.
Whoa. God damn.
Please remember when he
fuck?
gets closer, even if he's disappeared out of view, I can still see.
Yeah.
Yep.
Also, I'm gonna play that 29 as Graz was originally standing in the back watching the door, but as soon as they started looking any sort of aggressive, she stood up in front of her group, ready to prepare to, protect them if needed.
Give it a second.
27. Nice. Good shit, Resnick and Graz. So with you almost look both at the exact same time towards this individual, and you see as they are sort of right above here, dagger in hand, and they're not necessarily interested in just you, Ulf, but also the company that you've brought as well. As
Can I take an action?
Sure. Go ahead.
So it's a movement and action, if you're gonna allow it.
I'm fine with that.
I'm gonna move right here, and I'm gonna unveil it. I have to at this point. I'm gonna try to get around this battle without it being an actual battle. I'm literally going to move directly over in that direction, grab both shields, and just slam them both together.
As it does so, here
and
we
I'm
go.
going to use. I'm going to use the feat. It's not even an attack. We're going to use that new feature, as I need them to give me. Where's it at? For this full, it isn't. That would be for them. I think we called it a wisdom. Did we call it a wisdom?
Probably a wisdom. And would this be more so towards the
I need
person
wisdom
who's
saving throws.
Would you say it's? I'll leave it to you, Ulf. Like, what would you imagine? Would you say it's more so the person who's casting and controlling them, or would you rather say it's the individuals
I'm cutting them off from those. I'm cutting them off from those connections.
Got you. All right.
Basically, I'm looking to drop all 3 of them from their necromancy right now.
Saving throw 16. Does that succeed?
No.
All right. They're gonna use Indomitable and try to succeed because they have to realistically. They want to try.
I understand. Yep. No, I get it.
20. She will succeed for now. We'll go to the next one over here. Wisdom save. Ooh, he ain't good at it. 16. That will fail. They're gonna use. I believe they have Indomitable as well. That's a fighter feature. Yep. They will use that. Wisdom saving throw one more time. 5. They will fail. They will be severed. Next individual. What's the range radius of it?
10.
10. All right.
So technically, without even control, these 2. I don't know if one of these 2
No,
are trying to
those
control.
are just normal people. They're just normal folks.
That's fine. Got it.
And this one as well. All right. She's gonna make a wisdom save. 13. She will fail. She is severed.
As at least 2 of those should basically, for lack of a better term, just drop. As soon as all I've done is just basically just grab the 2. For the rest of you, not knowing what's happening, can I ask Arcana checks from them so they can see what actually is happening right now?
You can. Please do make Arcana checks for me, guys. As you just look, as both of these individuals begin to they're looking over towards Ulf before they just crumple it down into almost a bag of bones for a moment. 16, 17. I'd say 16, 17 will be able to figure it out. Hey, Resnick, hey man, you're not really used to casting too many spells besides the little bit of ranger spells you got. Not really your thing. All good, all good.
So, Anthony Yahato, for you 2, what you've actually seen him do at this point is basically use his aura to basically cancel out the magic in 10 feet and just and basically use an anti-magic shell feature to drop 2 of the necromantic people unable
to do that.
As you sort of do so, I'll just mark him as unconscious. Look over for a moment, and as it happens, you'll see as the woman, and no one's using inspiration for them, are you? Just checking. Nah.
As soon as I drop them,
yeah,
you're just gonna hear him basically again try to persuade. Don't make me do this.
Fair. Look over it. Look towards their sort of connection to them. You might have solved that. But sort of like look over and nod towards the other individual. And with that, you see as they have like 2 daggers getting ready to be thrown directly at Anth and Yahato.
He can certainly fucking try.
More so like, what are you gonna do about that? If anything, you don't have. That's what the king is sort of referring to. He doesn't have to do anything. You guys are
looking over that.
bro. You can just let them do their thing. I mean, they're growing.
Can I roll it? Can I roll the persuasion check? This is still like legitimately. I'm asking him not to do this fight.
Oh.
Just stand down. You have control of them. Tell them to stand down. Don't make us do this.
This was your request, my friend. I'm only
A requested answer is not a fight.
This oath requested answers, not a fight. You, as if he's sort of almost looking through you for a moment, requested ultimate caution. So, what will you do about that?
Are you gonna allow me to have more actions?
If you want.
Oh, fuck my
This
life.
guy has a ready to action. He's ready to start swinging and stabbing. But again, they're their own people. They can also just do their own thing if they want.
They can, in fact. It's technically up to you guys if you want to do something. Otherwise, I do have something else to do. I can kind of run the show if you want, or you can do something if
Go
you want.
for
It's
it.
your choice.
Do your thing,
This
bro.
is your
Do
moment.
your thing.
I will say though that Graz is also, if this guy makes a move,
Yeah.
she has a thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's gonna pass this, but I'm gonna use the other third level spell. He's up with daggers in hand, and I'm gonna try to stop him from where he stands.
All right.
Let me target. Give me a second. Let's see if we can do this. It's worth the shot. It is not updated on my thing.
Oh, what is it? I can.
It's hold person again.
You don't
Oh
hold
no, there
person.
it is. There it is. Yep.
You got it.
Sorry. What is? Oh. Hold on.
Oh, I just did that. I was like re-importing your thing. So if it's
Gotcha.
acting funky, yeah, that's why.
Give me a second. All right. Well, hold person it is.
You got it. Hold person on both of them, I assume.
Nope, just the one.
Just the one.
He's
All
the
right.
one that he's the one that he pointed him out. So
All right, let's see.
ask me what I was gonna do.
Oh man, come
Holy
on!
shit!
God damn, he wasn't even like that high of a modifier. That's that curse of dread look right there.
Does anybody have anything to make him re-roll that?
It's not, hold on, it's a saving throw. I don't think I have anything to make him reroll, bro. Sorry.
This is where we need the chrono.
This is what you need, Matt, bro.
Yep, this is when we need the whiz.
This is where we need the
Where
whiz.
are you?
Oh man, Navro carry.
I don't. Other than that's all that I really had to be able to stop him from being able to hit.
With that, we'll look over, and as you begin to try to cast the spell over towards them, you'll see as he sees the serpent being flung over at him, a smirk, smile, and just almost jumping up, or almost vanishing with the likes of the shadows, and then reappearing. You'll see as he is going to unleash 2 strikes. First one's going to be, actually, I'm just gonna roll. Yahato, odd or even?
Odd.
Odd. If I roll odd, he's hitting you. All right, he's hitting you. As he begins to just rush over, and as he strikes down first, he's gonna
Hold
hit you.
on. Hold on.
Yes.
Is he like getting close?
Yes, very much.
He got close.
Yeah, not even questioning it. Both like as soon as he's within 10 feet, Polar Master reaction attack.
You got it. Swing before he's able to hit you. Let's see. Come on, Yahato. 16. That will hit him for 8 points of damage. You adding anything else to it?
Cool. Hold on. Can I Eldritch Smite this one?
Yes, you. Yes, you
I
very
will
well
do
can.
that.
How much is
I
Ultra
will do
Smite
that.
at your level?
6d8.
Jesus Christ, fuck him up. 21 points of damage.
That was low damage.
I would say probably, yeah, lots of 1s and 2s, but it's all
Also,
good.
he's not prone, because why the fuck not?
Oh, if he's knocked
Knock
prone,
him
I
on
would
his
say
ass.
as you strike into him, as he just gets tries to get within reach, you see as he is struck by the likes of the glaive. The blade pierces through him before he falls down onto the ground, loses his entire attack for a moment. And I assume Graz and Anthan, every last one of you guys are like at the ready, weapons directly pointed towards him. I assume.
Actually, Graz has her hand out. She has her Naginata in a hand that's down. It's ready to go, but she's holding her hand out first.
Look over towards them. You see as for a second he's sort of breathing heavily. Looks over towards the left. See as his head begins to sort of crack for a moment. You see as the Astral King looks over towards them. Looks over towards Ulf. Seems that you keep good company. I would expect no less. And this sort of snaps his fingers and motions them off. With that, you'll see as the woman begin to look over, and she will begin to step back at the Astral King's side. And if you allow him, the other individual who tried to strike at the Astral King's order, he will begin to return back to the Astral King. Seems to be that he You had a test for you and the people that you keep. Neat. Seems like you guys are passed, or have passed.
We did it, boys.
We did.
And with that,
Ultra
throw
Smite
that-
for the win.
you can throw that encounter out of the way. Easy enough.
Sorry, boss.
No, I'm good. I like
You
it.
very specifically
No.
said magic, and I was like, well, if that's what it's gonna be, we're gonna do
No,
this.
I'm here for it. I like it. I like it. I said, hey, they can get rid of it if he can figure out a way to prove himself, and if it has to be by punching people, it has to be by punching people.
I think at this point, I'm probably gonna have some explaining to do to the rest of the group on why things have changed a little.
It's all right, bro.
You'll see as they're gonna grab their own though. They're gonna like kind of put them off to the side and such. They know the Astral King will quote unquote revive them at some point, if they can. But they don't really understand what the hell happened. But Fable will look over and say, "Very well. All right, they're fine. They're fine. Let's see sort of motions forth. Only this fucking crazy individual would figure out something like this. Fucking anti-magic. Really? After all the shit you've done with magic. Fair enough, fair enough.
It wasn't all my choice. This, as he turns to look over at Graz and looks down at the shields again. The previous wielder had a run-in with a mage. My desire to protect changes things. Its desire to protect from magic. We've come together. Guys, this out of game, this weapon has chosen its own to basically cancel out mages that may kill the wielder or the friends.
Ooh, Pete, hope you're listening.
yeah, I'm kind of at this point. I am the anti-Pete.
The anti-Navro. Oh man. They'll look over and as they're sort of calling people off, oh, I wasn't done explaining that. You'll see as you hear as about 12 individuals who are hiding in the shadows with multiple firearms aimed directly at each and every one of you, they will begin to reveal themselves from the shadows and put their arms down and not shoot you on sight. That said, with all of them sort of called off, King Fable will look over and say, so, I guess the one they now call Oath, what do you seek, my friend? Where have you, or where did you awaken? What travels have you, what fables and tales and such have you gone about? We're not at the exact ship, so I can't say a table, but whatever.
As Ulf is gonna keep kind of taking step forwards, right? He's for lack of a better term, he's going to kind of put his shields away, right? Is the best way for me to put it. I can't really sheath it, so we'll just say that it's on his back, right? And he's not like walking up aggressively by any means, but he is still walking forward.
They'll also allow any of the other 7 souls to basically walk up with him. You don't have to stay in the back unless you want to. They'll allow you to step forward.
The story of basically waking up and falling out of a fucking crystal without any well, I don't say without any memories. Basically, the last thing that he remembers is failing the tribe, basically. And he's going to allude, I can't even remember their names.
That's quite all right. Quite all right. I can explain as much as I know. I know a fair bit about yourself, but everything, well, sadly not. I believe it is due to the nature of this thing, and you see as he begins to hold up the purple square. And, well, kind of motion towards the ashes.
dots.
Yeah. You'll see as he does so and says, well, do you even know or why we even know of each other in the first place?
The only thing I remember is talking about raising a paragon.
Well, let us start with there, then. You see, you and I were partners a long time ago, specifically war companions and such. We were deciding to unite our forces for a time. As I was sort of in the midst of ascending and getting used to the likes of kingdom and such, after traversing wherever the hell I came from. Memory's gone, but establishing who I would be in this new world. Eventually, I decided to seek out one of the clans I would possibly rule over. Your clan specifically was, and though I cannot necessarily recall its name due to the nature of what it was taken by, I can at least tell you what they were about, as its ramifications are well known across many Vulcan tribes. Your clan, well, you specifically, my friend, which is why it's so ironic, you were a mage, specifically, a mage of immense power, I know. In fact, a mage of the sorts willing to push the boundaries of what was possible. You were mostly known for pissing off every other clan and such. Pressing a red button when you shouldn't, how you say. But that is exactly why I decided to seek you out, because I knew that you would be willing to get things done by any means that it took. Essentially, you were, and now I'm not necessarily a wizard or something, or even a sorcerer, if you will, but your concepts of strange magics and sort of arcane theory, it is beside me, and quite frankly, I just was looking for the results, if you will. But you figured that you would have some sort of arcane might and magic that could help me with a common enemy. Well, an enemy of the Vulcan. Specifically, the Kalani Council. The Kalani have always been known to be, well, known for their bit of arcane prowess and their mixing of technological means and magic, or technomancy, or whatever you want to call it. You apparently were able to figure out a way to deal with it. And in turn, myself and all of my forces would try to look after you after your deal was complete, to protect you. However, only after you would go to war with me against the Council. However, as you can imagine, things didn't necessarily go as planned. We were getting ready to launch our attack, but as we were getting ready to reconvene, these ships, my ships, were destroyed by, the individuals who did this. And he points towards his astral scar going across his entire body. But, funny enough, turns out that wasn't the end of it. Apparently, on a ship of the sorts was the perpetrator. An individual causing these stars to sort of attack not even just my ships, but also your home. An individual wielding a Star of the Swords. We can call him Captain Drayaxel, if you will. You see, and you see he begins to grip the legs of his sort of throne for a moment, nearly shattering it.
Are you? As he's like, you can see Ulf getting visibly red at this point, like starting to breathe. Like his breathing becomes a little heavier. Are you saying Drayaxel killed my people?
And many other individuals as well.
He's gonna turn around. Where is he?
Graz will step up immediately. And with her shoulders back, like projecting like a calm but very firm presence, looking Ulf in the eye and telling him, remember that this mark makes people do terrible things. You yourself helped Drayaxel find redemption. You yourself severed his link from the darkness. He gave everything up that he had done in the past. You encouraged him to do that. He accepted the redemption. He has repented. He is not the same person now that did this. And you are the reason. You know that.
Sorry to interrupt you if you're gonna say something, Ulf, but Fable has something to say on that.
It's fine. Because Ulf's gonna start calming down ever so slightly, so he's not gonna say anything else. So it's fine.
Repenting my ass. That individual is the reason I'm even here in the first place. Taking away my memories and such. What? So, I look over towards you in your hand. What? So we're going to especially listen to the individual wielding a mark? I wouldn't be surprised if you were in cahoots with him. Only reason I trust you so far is because you're in his presence. Am I mistaken?
Then don't listen to me. You can ask anybody in this group that I am not a fan of this. I do not utilize this power unless it is absolutely necessary. But you don't have to trust me. You can ask
Ulf's
the
just
person.
Ulf's slowly going to raise his hand. Just kind of giving Graz the stand down for just a second.
Yeah. Well, real quick, I'll play into that. Graz will say, you can ask the person who fought, who asked Drayaxel if he wanted redemption and was the one who saw the connection, who saw that the darkness was overtaking him. You can ask the person who offered the redemption himself, Ulf.
Ulf will turn around at this point and start to kind of recant the full story, all the way from not knowing who the hell he was at all, up to finding him in this cave with Auroraverse standing right behind him, basically telling him what to do and giving him a choice if he wanted to be redeemed. And then he will begin to pretty much quickly kind of going over the, hey, Drayaxel actually did turn on Auroraverse, who we happen to know is the one who actually is taking memories.
Mm-hmm.
And bringing him to the arena of the gods. And removing. Well, no, we removed the hand before that, right? That's how.
But he still had the connection to the darkness.
But he still had the connection, and then basically using that magic that they know that we're talking about, was able to completely cut him off and bring him back.
But it was also his choice.
It was his choice.
In ceremony, the person has to be the one who decides.
Yes, has to be
revert
the
to the
one.
original alignment.
Yep. And that's why it was so important that he asked back then. So he will give him the entire story of basically what exactly happened.
A look over, and he's still furious and pissed off about it regardless. But
Oh yeah, no, make no mistake, Ulf is probably pissed off too still.
Bodvar
Like-
will look over and say, my liege, I think it's best if we at least lay out all the cards on the table and then make a decision for at least this. Though there are many dominoes and other puzzle pieces, still at least displaying all of them to know what we could possibly make is best, rather than acting with the 10 pieces we have. Very well. Fine. I will continue at the very least, since this information is relevant to you, and also important for all of us. Anywho, this Drayaxle individual that destroyed our ships, killed your people, I believe, or at least sent the stars to kill your people. And as they did, they eventually would go about, I'm not even sure if it was beforehand or afterwards, but wiping away my memories as well. People have told me that this marks me as soul-bound and such, but it doesn't do anything, it doesn't act, it doesn't work. I know nothing about it. And at this point, it's just a simple tattoo for a useless past at this point. But I do know of the bits, or only pieces of it. Regardless, I digress. When this battle or this attack took place, me and you, we were together, side by side, my troops and yours on the battlefield. You said specifically this. Once all the bits of corruption were sort of gathering forth and getting ready, also nothing happens when he says it, as you could probably imagine, due to the he always says it every time anyways. But after all the bits of them were gathering forth, bringing down the doors of your sort of keep, you said, with that wound, trust me, Fable. I'm going to try something. I'll be back. Meet me at Bayani. If my memories of this conversation forget, I will, and I quote, mark myself as soul-bound, forcefully if I have to, and return when individuals arrive to the highest peak of Vodin. That should be enough nuance for the spell to work. I might come back.
God, I feel like Pyre right now.
I might come back with a spear rather than a staff due to amnesia. I'll probably come back with an eye missing, or even a pack of wolves, who knows? And he looks over, when he says that, he looks over towards Zappy. But please trust me. We will meet again, and we will take down the council. But I need you to trust in me, your good friend Odin, as I've done to you, old friend.
I'm gonna need a minute.
Alright, see you in a bit. Yeah.
Session's over, session's over, session's over, we're dying! Oh my god!
And there's only one last part to this whole sort of thing.
Well, let's wait for this man to come back. Well, put your fucking headset on.
I'm putting my headset on.
There's more, bro. There's more.
Alright, go ahead.
But after you said that, We heard the roar of this sea leviathan themselves, Deimos. The last thing that we all heard. And you casted one final spell as a safety precaution just in case. I don't know why. I truly do not. But you looked towards a ship for whatever reason. And once it was broken, the corruption took it whole. Along with myself. The battle left me with this scar. And now, I wield the name, the Astral King. And the ship
Wait a minute. Out of game? Are you saying that I cast a spell that caused the astral shit?
Not necessarily. You casted a spell to not only mark yourself as soulbound, but also these fuckers over here as soulbound as well, as a final precaution, just in case they'd find, or they could possibly find you and find your body.
So this is your fault, buddy. You did this.
Oh my god. Late Night Soulbound's gonna get so good.
Oh, it's gonna get so bad. It's gonna get so bad.
So bad. You, my friend, in the past, were the equivalent of Navro in the present. The fucking like crazy wizard always pressing the buttons and all that shit. That was you, my friend. And apparently you knew exactly a way how to mark people as soulbound, and you did it. As it was plans within plans for an overarching scheme for some way, shape, or form.
Just so that you're fully aware, and I don't expect it to happen right now, but I am going to Alf is going to concentrate on that soul memory every possible fucking second until he can remember.
You can certainly try.
Oh, I'm gonna.
That's where we're gonna end today's session.
Oh boy.
Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch.
Oh
10 out of 10.
I've been waiting for that for a long, long while.
Well, shit. Okay.
Oh man.
This is gonna change a lot of shit. Like a lot of shit.
So basically, if you need a TLDR answer, who is the enemy? Well, the enemy is really the corruption. That is your enemy, but for Fable, the Kalani Council is my enemy, which is now our enemy, is what he's basically saying. And from what you're getting, he's trying to cash in that favor, bro. He's ready. He's like, hey man, you ready to go to war? Ready?
No, honestly, I'm gonna tell you right now, VK, I'm sorry. I know y'all friends with the Kalani Council. We'll try to figure that out, how the hell we're gonna get around that later. However, yeah, Alf is, make no mistake, Alf is about to shake hands with the Astral King as an ally.
Oh man.
Right. We're gonna be, listen, have him as an ally, that's great, that's amazing. But gonna have to talk about the Kalani Council.
We will have to talk about the Kalani Council, and it may be hey, we will deal with the Kalani after we are finished crushing the Astral, but...
Yep. We can do a lot of things after we
can do a lot of shit after. My entire plan is to get everybody to just be like, no, we're gonna crush the truce right now. Small truce. Once, literally, as we crush the Astral, the truce ends, and we're right to battle in again.
Me and Sammy are sitting here like, oh my god, Dredd is saying something reasonable. Holy fucking shit!
I'm so happy we're on the same
Holy
page.
fucking shit! He's using his brain.
I'll leave you guys to do your thing in a
camera.
second. I hope you guys like the session as such. A lot of little bit of random lore, a lot of little random battles and stuff like that.
Excellent.
I'm just saying this is only the piece of the puzzle. I can't reveal the other piece. You'll learn about that later. But shit's about to get very weird and wacky.
There's a lot more conversation to be had, and like, we'll talk after, because I like you guys need to be part of this conversation as well.
I'll be back.
I'm just curious.
Okay.
Will all
All right, y'all. Thank you guys again for watching. Hope you guys like that little drop, or a couple of those little lore drops and stuff like that. Oh man, from the Astral King finally getting revealed as Captain Fable, the person who says in every single session, gather around the table and let me tell you of Odin fable. That guy being the individual who's the Astral King, to also all learning that he was apparently some crazy wizard and Odin, and also learning that he was able to figure out a spell to force someone to be soulbound or something like that, and be able to tip the scales into a certain individual's favor, and also being the reason why those individuals on that ship were marked as soulbound, aka all the 7 souls, when it all started. It's the cool thing about it is that the whole idea of it is that Odin or Ulf, or whoever you want to call them, you know, they predicted all of this would happen in some way, shape, or form in the past, the TLDR. They knew that this would eventually occur, and they prepared themselves for it in some way, shape, or form, leaving all the bits of sort of possible things they can kind of do to make sure and ensure it happens. All right. So yeah, awesome stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. We got actually we got the Forbidden Expanse game, aka Secrets in the Sands, tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern time. Hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. Be sure. Thank you for all the follows. Thank you for all the bits, all the subs, and all that good stuff. If you guys can do one cool thing for me, please, if you guys are over on the Twitch side of things, head over to the YouTube side of things for 2 seconds. Go click on the stream. Go like the videos. It does help us out tremendously, as it shows more people the session, and we can get more people involved in Aurora. Any other announcements? No, I think that's it. I think that's it. We're gonna go raid into somebody. I don't know who. We're gonna find out in just 1 second. Just 1 second. All right, let's see. We're gonna raid into. Let's go to Dungeons and Dragons. Oh, cool. Our top row again. Nice. I think we're gonna raid into Troll Lord Games. I think they deserve it. All right, let's roll into Troll Lord Games. Or actually, wait, no. We'll roll into Critical Misses. Critical Misses, actually. I think they're doing a little talk show and such. Let me make sure. Yeah, D&D talk show, morning ritual. So we're going to send you guys over there. Go say hi to all my good friends over there. And have a good one. All right, y'all. Bye.